Don't hesitate.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel.
Sorry, I was just singing.
We've got Bestie giving us
singing a bit of Michael Kiwanuka
there. Introduction there.
That's the channel getting cut, didn't it? Like for like, that was just like, it was like you sitting in the studio with me.
I'm just trying to put me down.
And I've just been doing mine as well there.
See, this is the professionalism I'm dealing with tonight.
There we go. Check 1-0.
So, as you can see, I am joined tonight by Bestie and Decker for his first Euro 2020 appearance.
Yeah, it's the first game I've watched of the Euros.
So we're here for a live watch-along of England and the Czech Republic.
Yes.
And we're, none of us are feeling particularly confident.
No, I'm not, to be honest, because I haven't been... I mean, I got heavily criticised for not liking Sundays when we played against Croatia. I thought that was a terrible game, but I got wrong for saying that. It felt very Newcastle-ish, if I'm honest, when I was watching it. And then Scotland, well, it was a shambles, really. It was absolutely shocking from beginning to end. So, I mean, also with the mindset of what we were talking about, Bestie coming second, I mean, does that mean we're going to be in for another poor performance? Surely we've got to turn up and deliver a good performance at some point to give just confidence, if anything, right?
You'd hope so. Like, I mean, I think people got carried away a little bit, kind of both ways against Croatia and Scotland. I don't think Scotland was as desperately poor as the table away as a lot of people have said it was. I think Scotland played really well, and I think the Croatia game, people were saying how well they managed it and all that. I thought they did okay, but it wasn't the masterclass that people seem to be indicating that it was. So yeah, it's been quite middling so far. Like for me, and I see a lot riding on this game. There's not really because of qualified, haven't there? So it's whether you finish first or second, and yeah, it's been a bit of a. But then you look at that game against Scotland on Friday. Immediately or the day afterwards, France drew with Hungary.
Oh yeah. Well,
Portugal got beat up. There's Spain have underwhelmed. They haven't even Belgium. I mean, it took them ages to get going last night against Macedonia, wasn't they played? So there's a. I mean, I'm not saying that England are as good as Belgium or as good as France or Italy. Italy look phenomenal at the minute. Mm-hmm. But teams are, you don't win a tournament in the group stage.
No, definitely not. I just think like when you, I don't know, maybe I'm playing a bit too much of this home advantage as well, like playing at Wembley. And I don't really like the way that he sets a team up either, Southgate. That's not really for me. And I generally think the tempo is too slow. And against Scotland, like, there's just no changes coming, was there? He's not changing the team nowhere near quick enough that you would expect.
That's frustrating.
Well, there is a couple of changes tonight, obviously, that we've had enforced upon us with some COVID-19 infringements on Friday.
Chris, you mean like that?
So, well, Chris as well. So, team news tonight. So, we've got, obviously, the keeper stays the same with Pickford. We've got Walker in at right back. And then back two of Stones and Maguire with Shaw in at left back. And then you've got Rice and Phillips in midfield with Grealish, Sterling and Saka just in front of them two. And then Kane up top.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a one. What's Jadon Sancho done?
Yeah.
You know, I think he has at times blown hot and cold for England, but the Czech defence isn't exactly the quickest, certainly the middle of the defence. And you think, well, Kane seems to be struggling a little bit for form, for fitness. He was really... I mean, I think that the service to him hasn't been great, but he really did struggle on Friday night against Scotland, didn't it? Against Croatia as well, I think. So I think he's had his hand forced a little bit with Chilwell and Mount being out. I would have started Chilwell from the start. I really like Chilwell.
Yeah, I do.
I think that he's a little bit damned if he does, damned if he doesn't with some of his selections, because I think there's so many people clamouring for Grealish, for Mount, for Foden, and for other players to come in as well. It reminds us a little bit of when Capello had Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes to try and fit in the team.
Try to squeeze them in.
And fitting them all in doesn't always work, you know. And I think that's a little bit the problem he's got here with Kane. If Kane was just an out number 9, you'd be probably getting more out of like Ford in particular and Sterling. Whereas, I mean, would Calvert-Lewin have done a better job? I'm not saying he's a better player than Kane, but would he be more suited to the kind of game that they had to play against Scotland?
Yeah, the formation and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think... Kane's just not playing as that out-and-out striker, is he? You've hardly seen him in the box in the last couple of games, and
he hasn't been for Tottenham either, mind.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I think he's played just for Tottenham, which coming deep's fine, but I don't personally feel when I watch the right. First of all, I don't think our fullbacks are anywhere near high enough, and that means that where wide men can't. Yeah, them seem to be get double every time Foden gets the ball. He had 2 on him. You need your fullback to be getting beyond it to try and obviously. To help the winger out, but Kane has been poor. But I have to be fair; there's been no service to him whatsoever.
Very little.
I give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
So we are underway now. We have kicked off. So apologies if you were going to sync up with us, but we are underway, and the ball's just gone back to Pickford, and we're on 23 seconds. So we're just onto there at the moment. So, but I'm a bit disappointed that Foden's missed out. To be fair. I think he's been probably one of the big highlights of the team in the last.
Maybe it's because, as what Bestie's saying before, is that we know we're through. So maybe he's just keeping him for the classic as important games. I'm shocked to see Sterling start again, because I haven't really been impressed with him in any game. But I think he's got nudes on Southgate or something. So
Keegan says that Foden's not in the squad because he's on a yellow card, so he's leaving him out for that one. Would make sense, I guess.
I think so.
Especially when you're saying it's not a must-win game as things stand. Yeah. So
it'd be good if he got booked and he was banned for the next one.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So
it's not a dead rubber, is it? There's still first, second place to play for.
Aye.
Whether or not he wants to finish first or second, there's that kind of whole. It's been doing the rounds again all tournament really since we just worked out who the grouping has playing in the second round. But yeah, Phil Foden's coming off the back of really his breakthrough season at Man City. He's been playing in the Champions League final. He's been playing a lot of football over the last year. So it might just be a case that he's obviously got the yellow card, but he's a bit in that. I'd give him a week or so. Kane.
Look how deep Kane is there. He's playing in midfield.
Go on, Raheem. Go on.
He's in.
He scored. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was annoying.
That's nice. See, that's where we can hurt them though with that passing over the top, isn't it?
And I know Sterling. I know it kind of doesn't always work like that, but Sterling's got a really good record against these. I think he scored something like 5 against them.
Lovely little clip off, I'm sure, isn't it?
It is.
Nice one as well.
Great time.
Isn't he?
Do you want Saka to be a bit more adventurous in getting in, or do you reckon he's just Sterling does well?
Yeah.
What's the keeper playing out there?
Yeah, he was a bit soft there, wasn't he?
Doesn't seem to. So we've hit the post early in all 3 games now. Then.
Yeah, in the first couple of minutes.
Obviously, Foden against Croatia and
Stones as well.
Stones,
best chance of the game for him.
It was. You see that? Obviously, I'm not that happy that it hit the post, but the water coming off the crossbar afterwards, it really rattled it.
Fairly put it belly behind it, like. Mm-hmm. See, that's where you want to see Kane much further up the pitch when we're in attack, getting towards the edge of that box like that.
Luke Shaw's putting some pressure on high up.
Yeah, that's what you want. You need Shaw to be high up the field. I'm happy to see him playing because
he will give you that, like, won't he?
Yeah. There was a few, and I like Trippier. Honestly, I do. I just feel I don't like it when the player has to come back on that foot, and he did it loads of times in the first game where we did really well to get out wide, and then the cross should come in, but he obviously couldn't. He cut back in, and sometimes the chance is gone. But at least if you've got Shaw or Chilwell, as you mentioned, who I think's had a great season. Nice touch that. Good game from Maguire to get some fitness as well, I guess. Go on, son.
Are you been shaking that up?
It's probably when you're trying to open it and you've been stoving it off the table. Go on, Jack Grealish, get him.
So our good friend Tom Lynch reckons that the Czech keeper's Nepav mind.
Nepav.
No Petra Kuba. Dojo going mad upstairs.
Cobra
Kai's going to come through the ceiling in a minute. They're playing out late, aren't they? No, we're early. We're an hour early.
Yeah, we are. I
thought they would have cancelled the Watch England game. Then again, they might not like football. Possibly.
Crikey never sleeps like that. I'm assuming that's what I've never watched Cobra Kai, but I'm assuming that there's some sort of patter like that in there. Like,
it's unreal. Absolutely unreal.
I don't think I've ever seen the Karate Kid all the way through, actually.
What?
I think so. Cobra Kai is mint, like cheesy, but just so good. More cheese is best. Really good.
But I'm glad to see Maguire back. I think I thought Tyrone Mings was really quite good against Scotland. I thought him and Pickford were probably the best 2 players.
For England.
That's the thing with Kane being
What the
there.
fuck's that?
If Saka gets on the end of that, then I suppose that might be what I do. And the Rashford looks to be not Rashford. Sterling looks to be quite central.
That was Shelby style, that though, wasn't it?
That was poor ball by
That
Kane.
was literally like in your own half, Hollywood time. There's no need for it, nice.
So Neil John, quality play on words here. He says, lads, can we have a time check, please?
Very good, very good.
Oh, I like that.
Neil, it's coming up to 5 minutes now. Exactly 5 minutes. 1, 2, 3. It's nice that we're all on the same time as well, lads. I feel as though I should watch it on my phone, like, and just pause it for a minute.
To be fair, though, we don't know whether we're ahead, behind, or anything because we've only got the one TV to check it on. So
it's unlikely that will be ahead.
Well, there is that, unless we're in a direct feed or something like that.
Did you watch their game against Scotland?
No, was it?
Well, another question I've got for you. What's your thoughts on this, like on Scotland? Did you not want anyone to do well except England, or do you not care if Wales do well or Scotland do well? Or?
I don't mind. I'm quite happy to see Wales do well because our shirt's amazing.
Get that.
I really like the Wales shirt. I was down Wales at the weekend. I'm wearing red tonight in recognition.
What for Wales?
I really like the Wales shirt. I do. Good lads and all the Welsh are all right. Scotland, I've got this. Part of us would quite like to see them go through because I thought they quitted themselves really well on Friday, and that they just like they know how to have fun. The Scots, don't they? They're a good laugh. Like another part of us thinks it would be hilarious if they went out with 1 point,
right.
or if they won the night and still didn't get through the third. It's that little thing. With I don't hate Scotland at all, but there's a part of the kind of thing that they've never qualified from a group stage of a tournament. Mm-hmm. That like. It just tickles us a bit like.
It's a bit like Newcastle and Sunderland, isn't it? Like Scotland are obviously the poor neighbour, but in recent times they've probably had a bit more of a result against us.
Scotland's a nice place to go.
I like Scotland. Like obviously my father-in-law's Scottish, and I've been many times. It's a beautiful place.
Scotland's gorgeous,
really is. And I get it. I get it that there's loads of Scots here, and I get that. I do understand that, but I actually genuinely don't have anything against Scotland.
No, I don't.
So
it doesn't bother me either way, like to be fair, but I think it's definitely more.
I'd rather them qualify than say Finland or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not at the expense of us, though. I don't get us wrong. Of course, I want us to qualify first, but I don't really. I'd rather Scotland and Czech Republic, for example. Like, I just would like Wales, but Wales I haven't got the same. I don't know if it's because they really took the piss out when we got knocked out, but I was rooting for them the other day, like to be fair. So. Ireland, I'm the same if Ireland's ever there. I love seeing Ireland do well if they're there.
The Ireland thing for me, it goes back to 94. Even 1990 with Jack Charlton.
Yeah, exactly.
I was too young to remember 88 when the beat was so... Well, not too young, I wasn't really that bothered.
Well, during the 90s, didn't it? That was a shit game.
It was 1-1.
Oh, 1-1, sorry.
1-1, Kevin Sheedy scored for them.
Did Steve Staunton score?
Sheedy for them then.
Oh, was it Sheedy?
I don't see Staunton maybe scored in 88.
Played in 94, wasn't he, in America?
He was in that squad, That was... But that 94 when they beat Italy in the first game. And
yeah.
Jack Charlton, John Aldridge having scraps on the touchline.
That's right, No, it was against Mexico, I think. That was one of those groups where everyone finished on 4 points. Everyone won one, drew one, lost one.
Yeah, poor on the group, like.
Got through, and then the second round was when Pat Bonner threw it at his own net against the Dutch.
Oh yes, yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Because everyone was complaining about the heat.
It was
that year, wasn't it? It was a hot World Cup.
Aye.
David Platt's extra time. I was going to go to extra the overhead kick, kind of like a side bicycle kick thing.
That was 1990. That was
1990. Gaza just like chipped it in.
Against Belgium, wasn't it?
Belgium in the second round. It was an extra time as well. It was like 119 minutes in.
I think Schifo. Was it Schifo who scored? Hit the post. What a strike! Hit the post before that. But it was
he's gone across his chest or anything like.
Why is he holding his face?
I'm surprised he's holding his head quite high up as well.
Kane's like that, won't he?
This was just the vibrations from his massive chin that was shaking his head.
Strong chin.
My dad says he looks like Woody. You know, Woody off Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Since he said it, I must admit it does ring a bit true. Like he was shooting the ball once. He was at my own Friday. Oh, well, Woody, man, what are you doing? Who the fuck is Woody?
For this one, rather than taking it.
This
is very Belgiumist, so Gaza chips it in. David Platt.
I know it is. Who be David Platt in this scenario? Probably Calvin Phillips. Although he's taking it, isn't he? By the looks of things.
Yeah, he did. Is Grealish in the box?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Luke Shaw taking it.
This is getting ahead of the way.
That's nice.
David Platt.
Nice delivery, that.
Oh, just couldn't get over it enough. That John Stones at the high. Very much the Newcastle Alan Pardew Set piece that one with Mike Williamson at the back
It
post.
was, yeah.
Big lad at the back.
God almighty, that made me
To
sick.
be fair though, he's done well from corners.
Mike Williamson.
Well, him as well.
Scored that volley against Palace.
We probably had our best chance, didn't he, against Scotland?
Well, it was, wasn't it? It was.
Stones when he hit the post, yeah, absolutely it
He
was.
didn't have a shot on target in the first half, and that was as close as we had come.
Yeah.
Mikey Pickford did an unreal save, didn't he?
It was a great save. That was
Adams?
good legs.
No, it wasn't, was it?
O'Donnelly,
it was,
fullback. Adams braces over the top.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Was that one that Reece James cleared?
I like him, by the way. I said him to Dean, I do. I think he's a good player.
I do. I didn't like that Lyndon Dykes mind.
Dykes.
I didn't think it was bad. He was just too shithousey.
Yeah.
But there again,
Which maybe you like when
John
you've
McGinn
got
was as well. I really like him. So
He's a good player. I do like him.
but Scotland have got some really good players at the minute. I mean,
Well, that's what we were saying on the tournament preview.
But did it not feel to you that it was like a mid-table Premier League side against Man City? Like in terms of man for man, like
oh yeah, I mean,
how many of them would have get in our team?
Quality-wise, there's no question who the better team is.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got maybe Robertson will get in for Luke Shaw.
Yes, I'll give you that one definitely. Yeah.
You could argue maybe Kieran Tierney, maybe the head of Shaw, maybe. But like obviously Ryan Fraser probably coming ahead of anyone in England. But no, like they are a decent side, Scotland, but they are, like I said, I think you're right that maybe it's a mid-table Premier League or that not the standard that England should be, but it's that old thing I heard in a podcast today. Was it? It's easier to destruct than create. So it's what Newcastle do. It's easier to set up to stop a team. It's harder to get through a team. And they did what they had to do really well on
I thought
Friday.
that was a decent chances. Like that, you know.
Go on. Grealish. Back in.
Touch. Oh,
Kane laid off.
Well done.
well done there.
Get up.
Yes! Get in there.
Is that right, Ian?
Sterling again.
First name on the team sheet, lads.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Sterling. I do like him.
Lovely bowling from Grealish. Like
It was Saka as well. I want to see more of this Saka. I thought he did really well at Arsenal.
He did
Just
well.
like
Put off to the back post.
He did well. That Saka when he got the ball, they charged through the midfield to start the move off.
Get on, Raheem. Get a hat full,
To be
kid.
fair, he hasn't played the best in the last couple of games, but he's obviously scored the goal in the first match, and he had plenty of chances against Scotland, but he went invisible for a lot of that game. I thought I was surprised he was the one that stayed on ahead of Foden.
I thought if anyone would have gone off, I think Foden.
Yeah.
I think Foden would have been the one. He looked more dangerous. I thought of the two of them, but he's done really well. It's a good
He
ball
does
by
very
Grealish
well
as well.
to ghost in there, doesn't he?
Yeah. Good lad.
Excellent. Yeah, Grealish did well there as well. But it's a lovely.
I
thought you covered.
Oh, is that David Baddiel? Skinner, I mean, for a Skinner.
don't think so.
It looked a bit like it.
Absolutely no like.
I quite like the way that one fella was doing that, as if they know what players do when they're
I was thinking
like
what
in
you
the
do.
NFL and that. Like, I wonder just worried about COVID.
I was thinking
Hey,
that,
lads, let's not show the camera saying that we're really happy.
Don't let the Czechs know.
Get in there.
Good
Good
challenge.
Challenge.
It's settled down, lads. Just get your foot in the ball.
So Tom had put a spoiler in the comments, but thankfully I didn't see it. But they've agreed not to put the scoreline in the chat, so not to spoil it for us. So thanks, lads at home, much appreciated. So I think we're about
Stop the cross.
must be about a minute behind apparently.
I'd say that's probably about right. Yeah, we're streaming on the hub, so we'll be a little bit behind terrestrial.
Yeah, we're watching on the ITV hub.
It's legitimate.
A legitimate stream available on Amazon Fire Sticks.
Our
And it is Amazon Prime Day today. There's lots of good deals on said Fire Sticks.
Oh, there are. Look, I've already got a couple, so I don't really need any more.
Well, I didn't, but I still somehow managed to buy myself an Echo Dot Generation 4 and a Fire Stick, but I thought it was too good a deal to pass on. Both of them for £42.
I nearly bought a Kindle last night, but chose not to. I pinched one of the Ben's tablets instead.
What was that?
Those wire
things
that you get like closed bread and stuff.
It'll be off my charging cable.
Yeah, yes, I've been fiddling on with it for a little while now. So no score in Croatia v Scotland by the looks of things. We'll probably talk more about Scotland and England actually so far.
There hasn't been much to talk about it, really.
No,
To be
massive,
fair, like
I'd be quite happy if it was just
So we have got something to talk about. So Tom's asked a question.
Tom Lynch.
Tom Lynch says, does anyone know why loads of teams wear just one colour in the tournaments in the last few years?
It was a FIFA directive before the 2014 World Cup. If you remember, Germany wore all white, England wore all white. Spain had to change their... Argentina wore light shorts instead of their usual dark ones. And it seems to have carried over. It's been a little bit inconsistently applied over the past couple of tournaments. But in this one, it has been the case. Like England have won all white, I think, in all 3 games.
yeah, I'm still... I prefer
the blue short.
I do, the navy shorts, dark blue, like Italian 90s style. Maybe not that short these days, but...
Kind of do, but it doesn't bother us as much with England. I think it's like, as I say, Germany with white shorts isn't right.
No, it's definitely not.
Or
it should be black.
I like France in white. There again, I think Germany's the one that really, because it's white, black, white. It's Germany, like, it's such a strong. Where England have worn white at times over the years.
I agree. I mean, it looks nice. Don't get us wrong.
Even if the socks were just.
But I do think navy. I do prefer the navy shorts or blue or whatever you want to say.
All right, good question, Tom.
Yeah, but it was a FIFA thing before the 2014 World Cup. And Colombia wore white.
Bestie bringing the facts.
Oh, yeah, we are. A big fact hunt. All right.
I did think that as well. Fact hunt.
Because I think Italy's home shorts for this one are dark blue, but they wore white against Wales. Because Wales wore all red.
It is.
What's it? Oh, that's a free kick. What?
I did think he dove a bit more dramatic than maybe he needed to, but I thought it was a foul on the same. Well done.
Back there, right? Oh, no, you shoved him off, didn't you?
Good enough.
That's all right.
That's out. That's gone.
Yep, good work.
Is he going to Brooks Saka for his diving? Looks like he is.
Oh, no, he's throwing him off.
Interesting to see it again, like, because I thought it looked like he got clipped. That's a foul.
That's a foul.
Good Lord.
How here, referee?
Did you think it was a penalty against Scotland? The trip in inverted commas on Sterling?
No, definitely not.
I thought it was.
I can't actually remember.
I thought it was, but and I'm not that bothered. Like, it didn't deserve the win. So
I would have laughed. I would have literally laughed in embarrassment if we had a 1-1 and that was the goal. Because I think it's one of them where I think if it's Premier League, it probably is a penalty because there is contact.
Yeah.
But it's one of them where, honestly, my head says, "God, come on!" Like,
did you watch a game of the day as well?
I did. Yeah. He currently Scotland top.
Had he been full of it? Was he?
No, he was all right. He was happy with the performance, and he said like, "Oh, I feel like we've given you a game." That's what he kept saying. He just said, "I hope we'll give you a game," and I said that. So I honestly thought he was the better side. And he went, "Hey," but you say it was funny. There was a lot of negativity on Twitter and stuff. Ironically, from of course, I'm England fans, but like saying, "Oh, well, it means now it's a don't win on Tuesday." I'm like, "Well, no," but for me, in any competition, be it league, we were the Champions League, right? We drew against Inter Milan 2-2.
Yeah.
We didn't win that. We got knocked out. But I still have memories of that game now.
Oh, yeah.
And like Scotland will, whether they go through or not, they'll still have memories. Remember that time we went to Wembley and we had a great day out and we drew 0-0. Or they just will have that memory, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit harsh thing to take it away from them.
Like. He was just in.
It's 1-0 Scotland.
Croatia have scored.
Oh, fuck.
So 1-0 Croatia.
Bet's fucked.
Are you back Scotland?
I did. I had a double on tonight against Scotland.
I didn't fancy Scotland.
Yeah, I didn't fancy them against Croatia.
Fuck me, if I kind of beat them. Fucking hell, man. I don't know what it is about us, like, but still. I honestly thought that I don't know. I thought the tails would be up tonight. Like,
that's a free kick.
I think Croatia they're still a decent team. Croatia, like they're not the team they were 3 years ago. You know that is kind of the end of
thankfully.
Yeah,
it's like the end of a generation for them. You know, like Modric is 35. Yeah. Rakitic is gone. Mandzukic is gone. But they're still like Perisic, still good players, good young players coming through as well. Like so,
I'm glad we played them as early as we did. To be honest,
get out of the way.
Yeah.
I've got a theory.
It's probably the best way to play them, though. Get them the first game where anybody's still a little bit dubious and maybe
here we go.
Not at the races.
Oh, goalkeeper there. David Marshall's left that in quite softly, I think. Go on, Calvin Phillips.
Oh, that's a replay of that goal, that wasn't it?
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah,
Phillips picked it up over there. That's a really good header.
I mean, he should score, but it's the run that gets him there. That's the praise, isn't it? Like, he did really well to go us back in there, the back post.
He's a quality player. He's just been in patchy form over the past.
He has had
2-3 months,
hasn't he?
I'd say certainly since. Yeah. I'd say since he started, maybe I would certainly agree with that. He's still a regular starter for the league winners and the Champions League finalists, like so.
So as things stand, we go through top of the league on 7 points. And Scotland finish bottom.
I'm all about winning the group, mate. Like I'd much rather win. And all right, yes, it'll be a difficult game next, but let's take them on. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
so we're going to either play Germany or Portugal, aren't we?
Looking likely. Although France only drew against Hungary as well. If they drop points against
I don't want to
Portugal.
play Germany. Like,
the thing is, you don't want to play any of them three, though, really.
Nah, I'd play Portugal. Right?
Portugal's probably the one that you would take out of the three. But
Germany would look great.
I cannot see Germany not. I cannot see France and Germany not qualifying out of that group. Well, Germany really impressed me.
I think
they're brilliant, man.
Yeah,
they were class against France. I know they lost the game, but it was no own goal. And I know you could say that there was a few offside decisions, but Germany battered them for long periods of that game. Obviously, they got beat Hummel's own goal, but and then the second game, they were just brilliant. Even when they went behind, I thought there's no way. Yeah, they'll get back in it.
Came on his heels there a little bit, and he just
doesn't look fit, does he?
Nah, he didn't look sharp there to me.
Have I not said this before?
That to you at the start of the season that I didn't think Kane was gonna be quite right for the season, and
for the season, it's in the Premier League season.
Yeah, class season
in which he finished top scorer and top assist.
But he wasn't the Harry Kane that
he was class.
That he was
after his last ankle injury. I think it was when in Mourinho's last game. That's when he did take like to score 2 in 9 towards the end, but he was still the Premier League's top scorer and the most assists.
We said exactly the same at the what was it, the World Cup with Iceland that time, where he was taking corners and stuff like that. Right? He was terrible there, and it was. I honestly think that at this time of the year he does get shattered. I genuinely believe he just plays enough games, and that fair enough. Like, it is what it is. But we've said it a lot of times about Kane in competitions that he just hasn't been maybe sharp, or looking fit enough.
I think Shaw's going to get himself booked, unless has he been booked there?
No, I don't think he has, but that's his third tournament I've counted.
He's picking up a lot of fouls, like, isn't he?
Yeah, he's next. He's as soon as their player gets the ball, man, he's on the heels, like. But
little cool box full of.
I noticed you brought it in there. It was like my little golf bag I've got, but you had beers and I've got like scorecards and fucking gloves.
Oh, no, I've got that. I've got 2 cartons of juice. Roger brought one in for one of the previews, and it was a godsend, like putting the cans in there. So I've got my little carton of juice in me.
Well, have you played Pez? You have played it before.
Oh yeah, I've got this year's one.
Do you know it's got the Euros on?
Oh, that's why I got it.
Aye, so I played Czech against England. I got beat 2-0. I got absolutely butchered. Like, so thankfully that hasn't happened so far anyway. I got absolutely butchered.
Still, it's good as FIFA.
It's
good.
Oh,
it's good.
FIFA's the game.
Pez is coming on every year, but it's still not as good a game as FIFA for me. Like, FIFA isn't brilliant.
FIFA's terrible. I've got it. Like, I think it's absolutely awful.
Oh, he's in. I'm all. Oh, has that come off his arm?
Offside.
Offside.
I think it's the same. I think Pez is. You know when you're knocking it around at the back and stuff like so now.
It's like, isn't it just?
I think Pez is like real football. However, you can't beat a man as easy as you should be able to. Like if I've got Sterling running against someone and I just want to beat him on pace, you can't seem to do it.
It's still the shooting and Pez all over the place. The keepers on.
Do you think the float almost? Does that make sense of like floating the air?
Pez have never got the keepers right for me.
But with FIFA, it's just too arcadey. Like it's just you can go back to front within 3 passes all the time.
Oh, it can be like
crazy.
that.
You could literally close your eyes and just press X, and if that's what you play, and it just pass.
If you're playing against a high line, it's a doddle. If you've got a bit of pace about them, like
really weird.
To be fair, the Czechs, like they haven't.
Well done. Who's that?
No, they've looked canny. They've looked all right.
They're taking the game. We're like
this is the problem I find. It's a little bit like when we were in the Championship, where you'd see loads of teams play lovely football, but they had no cutting edge. Yeah. And I feel Croatia was similar on that particular day.
Yeah, they were.
And these seem the same. Where they'll play nice football, but when it really matters, the final third, they just.
That's kind of what we've been like. Really, first 2 games certainly they've looked a little bit sharper this time.
Still going.
Bit lucky there, Saturday. Like,
still going.
However, he can
get beyond them, sure.
Grealish feels like he's playing quite deep here.
Hit it.
I know it was Luke Shaw.
Oh, nice. Oh, why didn't he give him it back? Should play a little 1-2 there.
Start again.
Oh, God.
You're getting a lot of players behind the ball, like, aren't they?
That might be a whole team behind the ball there. That's a ball, Luke Shaw. Oh.
Really shtick.
Well done.
There he is, eh?
Yeah. He's one of the joint top scorers, isn't he? 3 goals, I think. Did he score that one against Scotland?
Obviously, he scored that goal against Scotland.
That honestly,
That's going to go down in history.
I get that the keeper's far out, and I get they were playing a high line, but God, what a finish!
It's
just unreal.
As far out as Marshall is on that one,
he still gets back.
There's only about a football amount of space between the keeper and the crossbar when he goes over the line. Like
it's just how far it starts left.
Oh God,
it's just unreal.
You see a picture from behind him, and it's going towards the corner flag.
Yeah. It's unreal, that one. It's amazing. It was amazing because I hate every time I mention the goal. But the keeper, I went, no.
I've still got it. It's so hard to do that.
It's so hard to do.
It's not as if give the one. I know there's some kind of footballers in this group. I'm certainly not one of them. But if you give the ball, go on, Harry Kane. Oh, that's a good save. That's a good save. You give the ball to any one of us on the channel, I would have said, in that situation, even in just a fucking park game with no goalkeeper, you're going to struggle to get.
Absolutely right, 100%. Yeah.
To do it at that level in a European Championship game, it's a really good save. That
his hand there for ages, didn't he?
He's got to stay up. I think he's anticipating Kane playing it back across him there, actually, towards the near post.
Have you seen Saints done what Jack bought? He's used Jack's.
Oh, he's done it, has
so
he?
He's done his status saying, like, thinking about it, and then he's put it as his actual.
He's great.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. I love him, Max. I forgot because I've been so kind of wrapped up in the European Championships over the past few weeks. I've forgotten how much I love St. Maximin.
Right, nice.
Am I getting
It's a Scotland game. I kept. Oh,
get on.
It's a good ball.
I kept saying all the time. I was like, I wish Saint was English to come on. I was a Croatia game. It was when I was like, lads. So imagine if Saint was English now. Just bring him on.
I might get an English shirt off the age gate with St. Maximin on the back.
I kept saying it all the time.
That's it for the
what we need in this game, lads? We need Saint. Come on.
There's not much in there. Maybe steps across Grealish.
Maybe Jordan Sancho can be our St. Maximin.
Or Jaden Henderson
doesn't like him, does he?
Jaden.
He is quality. Sancho is a really good player. There has been a few games for England, I think in the Nations League most recently, where he did kind of flatter to deceive a little bit, but he's quality. Like, I mean, he's had a few great years in Dortmund.
To see Man City had £100 million bid turned down for Kane.
Yeah, aye. Yeah. Interesting that, because that would then make their forward line
old and slow.
Well, Sterling, Foden, Kane, it would be the England forward line.
Much,
that hasn't really done a great deal.
Good save.
Good save. He's Pickford for England. He's pretty consistent, like, given how mad he is for Everton and how much obviously Newcastle seem to get under his skin and stuff. He never lets England down.
Well, he's talked a lot in the build up to this that he's been going to anger management classes and counselling sessions and stuff like that to help him.
And you know what it is?
Deal with it.
He's grown his hair and he looks like a nicer lad because of it.
Looks like a pedo, I think.
He definitely looks like he's straight out of the 90s with these curtains.
It is.
Get rid of that Declan Rice, that'll do you. That wasn't very convincing.
50 pence foot. Not bad, like not bad.
Anyway, just get rid of that.
Good
That's a foul.
It's our ball as it is.
Yeah, it's their ball. The Czechs have been really good the last 5 or
10 They're really taking the game. Look good. Keeping them high up the pitch, right?
Yeah.
But that high line should play into our favour if we can get a ball out from the back in behind.
Well, with Sterling's pace and Saka,
yeah.
It's having a centre forward that keeps up with him. Kane just doesn't look. I haven't said that he had that shot that was saved. He's put a couple of. He's linking up more than anything else, isn't he? He's kind of playing a bit deeper and down the channels and whatnot. But had it not been for that goal, this would be far more nervy than it is.
Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely
right. I think that's what's made them just sit back and relax.
Go on, son.
Apologies.
Oh,
just deafened all of our listeners.
I have no idea how that didn't get a shot at all, at least.
I'm just wondering whether or not that has maybe impacted their
That's a great ball.
confidence a bit, and they just like think, well, we've got that goal, we can just
go on, Harry Kane.
Just relax a little bit.
That's more like it.
That's what you want to see.
Even though he didn't get it, just the effort that he put into that, the hunger to get it. Do you reckon he'd be a good signing for Man City? Because he's a very different striker to like Sterling, Aguero or Jesus.
I've watched Man City loads of times, more so when they're in our place, because you can see more of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I always find like Aguero was starved of service for ages because they'd be passing it around so much, starved of it. And then fair enough,
you would just give him that one chance though, and he would score it.
And in theory, you think, oh, he's going to just score 10 a game. Like, you see it in theory because you know how many crunches they should create, but sometimes I think for the striker, they don't create that many chances.
Well, Aguero had a really poor season by his standards, didn't he? Just on there, he didn't score many at all.
He's getting on a bit.
He didn't play a lot of
many
games as well, though, did he?
But Jesus is a great player, but he doesn't score many either. But I mean,
it's the way that they play, though. I think, like what you're saying with the formation that they have, they get more of a share of goals within the team.
So many times I used to see like Jesus or Aguero make a run and they just go back inside. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't play that pass because it's a risky pass, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. I think for Kane though, like obviously it must be something he wants, surely, because he's not going to create. He's not going to get what he wants to get from Tottenham, is he? So,
he wants to win things, doesn't he? And I mean, as decent a team as Tottenham have been over the past 10 years or so, he's not going to win a league with Spurs. He's unlikely that he's going to win a league with Spurs. I mean, that year that Leicester won, it was a big chance, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah. Well, Spurs can't even win a manager. Never mind the league at the minute.
They're making a real balls of their situation. They make us look inefficient.
It's desperate at the minute for them. Like,
it really is that terrible the way it's been carried on. It's just awful.
What's that? What they're doing now? About number 5 or number 6 on the list?
Off it.
It's really bad.
I wonder if Rafa's on the list because he'll go to Everton now.
No.
Upset them. They've upset them. How's this? Just bodies in the way.
Good blocking.
That'll do it. That's what you got to do sometimes.
They're throwing themselves at the ball to block it, so there's definitely a desire there.
Yeah, seems that way. They're pressing quite high, the Czechs, aren't they? Like you said earlier, I could really...
But look how many, they've got 5 players in the shot there. Oh, they did have, there you go, 5.
If England can just get it to stick, Harry Kane again, how are you, man?
You're right, what you said there.
It's a funny one, because obviously, going back to Euro 96, all of the talk was that Shearer wasn't scoring and should he be in it and all that, but then we all know what happened that tournament. He absolutely bossed it, didn't he?
That's why I was pleased that he had stuck with Kane. Like, you've got to show faith in your main guy, right? Like, he's your number 9, you've had 2 games, all right, fair enough, they haven't went your way, but you've got to show faith in him.
It's the big thing with Terry Venables, isn't it? And I've listened to a load of shows about kind of Euro 96 and that England team around that time. Go on, Sal, get away. And something Shearer said about...
It's tough ball.
Something Shearer said about Venables was on the tour of the Far East before the tournament, Venables pulled one side and said, no matter what happens on this tour, you're starting against Switzerland first game. And Shearer said that's what I was at ease. I was fine.
You need the face.
And he scored.
And there were some strikers in the right.
Oh, God,
the list is endless of the quality that we could have played there.
Yeah, I mean,
Ferdinand, Sheringham,
Ian Wright,
Colin Moore. Was Colin Moore around then?
Yeah, Colin Moore was going to be in Villa by then, I think.
Ian Wright was one of my favourites. I thought Wright was incredible.
I didn't like him at the time because I thought he was a bit chippy.
But he was.
But I loved him.
But he was.
I like him even more now.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of got more of an appreciation of him as a player.
Yeah.
But I think he's another one that I thought was quite poor as a pundit when he started. I thought Shearer was as well. And the both of them are like Ian Wright's superb now.
Yeah,
really
them two together though are just bounce off each other, don't they?
There was you that I never thought would have worked.
Like, it's the same as Richards and Keane as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You look at them too, like who would have ever thought that would
I
have
actually thought
worked?
Keane would be pissed off with him.
I
didn't think Keane would like him to hold, but obviously.
Mika Richards is just an absolute breath of fresh air.
He's great. You watched the Match of the Day top 10 podcast. I him, Shearer, and Dennis Anthony's been excellent. Really good.
He's everywhere, but you don't get sick of him.
Oh yeah,
like great, unlike Jermaine Jennings, who is also everywhere, and I want to punch his face in.
Jennings is a bit. I don't hate him as much as some people do, but I still don't particularly like him.
Give it back. Oh, lucky.
Was on the ball.
I thought it might have been
done well there. Like,
foot on the ball. This is it.
Well, Jack.
That's really bad.
Oh, that's not very good.
Ref got.
I think it did hit the ref. I think that's why I stopped it.
Yeah.
So Tom reckons Spurs fans would hate Rafa.
Well, it didn't like Mourinho too much, did they?
Aye.
I suppose they're both, to be generous,
similar styles,
quite pragmatic
in
their approach.
How have we got that ball back there?
You do whenever it's referee.
But there wasn't an England player in sight. Like I know Grealish hit the ref, but there wasn't an England player within 20 yards of the ref.
Oh, it's poor.
Sterling. Shearer, Sheringham, Ferdinand, Wright, Cole, Fowler, Collymore.
Yeah.
Hell, man. Fucking hell. He's got them all on.
Aye.
Madness, isn't it?
That's some selection.
Real quality there, like.
Unbelievable.
I mean, even now, I mean, when you look at, I was thinking about this the other day about the Scotland, about Dykes and Che Adams. And I'll wait, this is gone before.
Out. Oh, good head.
I thought
that
for a
was
second
in.
there to give him a free kick.
Yeah, me.
But I was thinking about this with Scotland and Dykes and Adams. They aren't as good as obviously Kane, Rashford, Calvert-Lewin. Then you go beneath that to Ollie Watkins,
Well, that's
Callum
it. You look at
Wilson.
the players that haven't got in there.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, I don't think that they're as good as the players were, and I don't think. Oh, that's not a bad effort, that, you know. I don't think they're as good as the players we've just listed from the mid late 90s were.
Yeah.
But they're still quality, like, you know. I mean, Ollie Watkins and Callum Wilson, who didn't. Well, Watkins was in the professional squad, wasn't he? But they get into Scotland squad,
Even,
the Wales squad.
Vardy. You haven't even mentioned
Of course,
Vardy.
Jamie Vardy, of course, that's right.
Pickford was beat all ends up there.
Yeah, it's
not
good.
his fault.
It's a good hit, that. I don't know if he's got Thomas Suchek as well. I don't know if he's stopped play for the high boot on Shaw there, if he's given a goal kick.
No, it's a goal kick. No,
It is a goal kick, is it? No, it is. It's a good hit by Suchek, that. I thought he'd just looking inside. It's
Two shots on target. I think that's more than we had in the entire Scotland game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that way.
No, well,
I've just
obviously
seen
the
it.
goal.
I feel like they've had more possession.
And then
No,
very
no.
what's
dangerous.
the other one? That
Harry
one with the
Kane.
hand with the
Oh, yes, Harry
stop
Kane.
on
Harry
it.
Kane with a strong hand, aye. It's
So
been an
there
even
you are.
game.
There's your £35 off Paddy Power if you put that one on. One shot on target,
It
Harry
wasn't
Kane.
35. I've just been on it, man. It was fucking 15-8 or
It
something.
was 1,000,000% 35-1.
Well,
A 1,000,000%.
I tried. I couldn't see it. Oh,
It's
Sterling, what are you doing there, man?
40-1 against Scotland and 35-1 for tonight.
Well back. Who's that? Is that Walker? God's that touch, get away.
Go on.
That's what you want, drive forward. Just carry the ball for 20 yards or so.
Nice, get it in.
Oh!
A little deflection. Good save that.
Did you get? I thought it might hit the outside of the post. Either way, it's a corner, isn't it? Because it comes off the defender.
Tips it around, I think.
Oh, it's going in, that Mark.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
going
aye,
in,
sneaking
yeah.
in.
It's going in. Did well, keep it in.
He does really well, because he's
Nah, it
going to
is.
shift his body weight there because he's
just
expecting
get
to go
over.
across him. Taps off.
From the left, we're not causing them a bit of straight on the left hand side.
Down there.
There more than
And
left
I
and
think Saka's still obviously doing well on the other side, but Shaw just seems so aggressively going forward compared to what Walker does on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I've seen him in the game.
Oh. He stopped there.
That's it, aye.
Go back. Goalkeeper. That'll do you. That'll do you. Pardon me. It's funny that as well, because Walker's obviously a quick defender and he's good. He's capable on the overlap.
Definitely, yeah.
Aye, just not seen it, aye.
No, not so much. I keep on looking at your phone, Matt. When you get I put mine upside down in case a score sneaks on there. Happened during a Croatia match. That I was sitting in the bot. Rashford's rolling
Good
there.
ball.
I keep calling Rashford.
Go on, Jack.
Nah, just behind him too much.
That's a silly foul, lad.
He just steps across him. He's a little bit lucky there. It's well bought by a man there.
That's what Grealish normally does to the opposition, isn't it?
It is. He's clever Grealish for that.
It is.
That's a lovely touch, that, isn't it?
It's a lovely pass from Pickford.
If he just gets a bit, as a Kane puts it over just a bit more,
just a
maybe.
bit of height on it. He needs it.
Yeah,
Tough ball, like that, really.
good ball. Good run again by Raheem.
He's definitely looking a lot more lively than he has in the first two games.
I don't know. I think it's good against Croatia. He scored as well. Or Kane, or is that Sterling? Kane.
Sterling.
Yeah, Janus was absolutely wanting him off in that. I don't know. See, sometimes people play terrible and score a goal, and they're like, "Oh, that's a great game." Like, and I scored, but I didn't. He really missed that. Now, really, he hit it straight at the fucking keeper. I didn't really think he played that well. Really.
He timed it.
Edge box.
Ball.
Oh, the timing for that goal against Croatia, mind that. It's a lovely touch. Got it right foot.
He's a cheeky bastard, isn't he?
He's good.
He's bloody good,
he is a
though.
really good player, Grealish. Like,
He's far too good for Villa, though.
is that? No, it's just slowed down. Yes, I think he probably is. I don't think he'll be there. He's 30. No, sorry, he's 25 now, isn't he? So I think similar to Kane, but at a different level, obviously. I think you're going to look at him in a couple of years moving on. But he's a superb footballer. Like,
He's unreal.
I don't think he's the silver bullet that people seem to think he is for the England team, but he's a good footballer. Get there, look sure.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, he's done all right. He's got it.
I thought he took that down lovely there at first.
I did as well. Ooh.
How deep's Phillips is playing as well?
Yeah.
I'm just going back at you this, right? Nice, I'll just go straight back to him. There you go. Most negative footballer in history.
I like him, he's steady.
Do you?
Well, I think he's a good player, like
I reckon I could do his job. I really do. Because 9 months to get fit. I was fuming.
Missing Mason Mount for me, like.
On the Scottish game. Fuming with him.
I don't know. I've got this thing where I've only watched the Croatia game once, the Scotland game once, as it happened. And obviously, when you're watching them, you get so wrapped up in what's going on or what they're doing that I certainly in my case, I can't speak for you lads, I think I miss an awful lot because I get so, like, I follow the ball, I'm not passionate about it. I've got this thing now where I need to start watching games 2 or 3 times just to understand what's happened, really. Because I listen to podcasts and stuff like that after the event and hear people talk about the game and I think, oh, God, I can't remember that.
I think sometimes it depends on where I am. I mean, I watched the first game in a bar, like, well, an outside place with all the lads. And
I did.
And I don't know, the atmosphere was really flat and I felt the game was absolutely awful. But I missed quite a lot of what people were saying, such and such did well. And I was like, I didn't see that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
The Scotland game, though, with the sitting watching it in the house, I felt I watched it more. I took more of it in. Whereas sometimes I'm in a pub or something like that, I tend to miss the game, if I'm honest with you. So I'm too busy chatting or whatever. Or
that was me for the Croatia game.
I'm going to drink or whatever.
I remember the first 10 minutes or so where it was just frantic. I got at them.
Aye.
And then the rest of the first half I was on my phone, I think. I was just talking to someone.
Yeah, it was poor. It was poor game.
Come on, get your big slab heat on this one.
Did you forget you were doing a podcast there, Matt? That sounds like...
Keegan agrees. Walker is piss poor going forward. I'm actually quite good, actually.
It's surprising because I used to always think of him as really bombing on, but just, I mean, he's
getting on a bit now, though, isn't he?
He is. He's still got so much pace to get back to one.
30, 31 maybe. He is quick. He always seems
still fast.
He's scored a couple past Newcastle, so that's kind of the majority of what I've seen him do has been successful against us. Like, so.
He's coming back in.
Also, Stephen Cowell's a good player as well, but until we signed,
until he signed for it.
Right. Damien Duff was the same for me. Well, a different position, but player that I thought was amazing.
This is nice. A lot of space here.
I think where's Kane going him a bit. I know it's frustrating, isn't it? When you think of it. He's offside.
Oh, he's offside.
He's offside.
What's he doing there, man?
Flagged it as well.
That's silly, that.
Must be obscure.
That's a good chance, that just for
up Scotland scored.
Oh, Scotland have equalised.
Yeah.
1-1.
Is that John McGinn?
I think it is. It looks like his position.
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
Someone else. Another Scottish man.
It was a Scottish player that scored. Derek Petby Sr. says, "Come on, Scotland."
Oh, it's my dad's on there.
Oh, where's the foul there, referee? I'm not having that.
So who got with a goal? Come on, let me know in the comments who scored, because we didn't. The replay was that quick, we didn't even get a chance to see it.
I think of whether that little bit of
I was still coming back into it.
I say storm, like, but I mean, you know what I mean? Then we're getting back into the game.
I think we're probably on top for a good 15, 20 minutes or so. Like, it's been a really even first half. If they'd been one up, I don't think you could really say it was an unfair reflection. Yeah. It's been nice one of those tight ones. It's too much.
Apparently it was Ali McCoist that scored. Thanks for that, Keegan.
Similar enough to his goal against Switzerland in '96. Then.
So it's the same two that go through at the top of the table with.
If it stays like that, then third place doesn't go through, does it? From this week, because
two lower points.
You've already got teams on 3 and 4 points going through. Points, so Portugal have got 3 points already in Group F.
So our Welsh correspondent says it was McGregor. Obviously not Connor.
Mr.
Alan McGregor, is it?
It could be.
Sounds like Alan McGregor.
Sounds reasonable to me. Let's go with that.
No, it does sound reasonable enough.
You've got to give that. Go on, Jack Grealish. Milk it.
Oh, he's dead. His leg's falling off.
He'll be on a second.
Oh, come on. Why is he rolling around holding his bloody shin and his knee and all sorts of stuff? He's never even touched, like, he doesn't go anywhere near the front of his leg.
It's his Achilles, isn't it? That he's kicked by the looks of the thing. That's why he's... I don't think it's much in it. Like, I think our Jack's made...
Well, it's absolutely zero surprise.
It would be so unlike him to do that, wouldn't it?
He does spend a lot of time on his arse. Like. But he seems to win every free kick, doesn't he? As soon as he hits the ground.
No.
He's a bit like our friend Alan in that respect, isn't he?
Yeah, but Alan's the best player in the world. That's fine.
That's a deep ball, lad. Oh, winners.
You can't call him that.
That's it.
Nice lad.
That's a very underused word, isn't it, these days? Win it.
Win it.
Half time. Yeah, lads.
Yeah, well,
all that win it talk.
It's half time.
What do you reckon? Yeah, well, here's my question for you: do you prefer high socks or low socks on a player?
High socks.
High socks. Where do you stand on that? Burning issue.
It's a tough one. That it's a tough one. Because I've got so many players going through my head that wear short, or used to wear short socks.
Yeah.
I'm going to say normal, like high normal.
I'm a low sock man, mate. Like
a low sock.
I think your proper flair player is a long sleeve low sock. Grealish does it.
Yeah.
Thomas Muller's a low sock.
It was totty for me, like because I used to wear mine low to be fair and have my shin pads shown. But then I think of what I used to like actually was remember Thierry Henry used to wear them high
over his knee, over the knee.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On stage as well.
But I remember there's a photo of Ginola training for Newcastle where his socks are rolled right down, and that was all. I think that's.
Yeah. I don't mind it in training.
I think that was like an awakening for me, like in the
I think it's just
when you're out on the pitch, it just brings a bit of professionalism. You've got your socks up, your shirt tucked in.
I used to love Veron as well, and he used to wear them low. Totty, I loved wear them low. So more and more, you know.
For me, Thomas Muller's the one. Like, I love Thomas Muller, and he likes a low sock.
So, GR says you should always wear low socks if you have sexy calves.
Correct. And that's why I wear mine low. That's why I often don't wear socks, because my calves are just that knocked out.
That big.
Aye. Although the fact that my legs are massive is a reason that I like a low sock as well, because I just kind of pull them all over. I get off.
You know, when you get them socks and you've got to see someone with massive legs, and they pull them up and they're like, let's say they're black, right?
Yeah.
They're like solid black at the bottom, but as they get further to the top, they're getting more and more see-through.
Keegan reckons that they can only wear the socks like that because the shin pads are actually credit card size things these days.
A lot of them are very small like that.
What was going on with was it
tiny,
Calvert-Lewin?
It's like that, isn't it?
Calvert-Lewin's put them on.
Yeah.
They're like a matchbox.
Well, you don't remember Matt Ritchie's when he had his on with his sausage rolls on them?
His were like that big. His were all right though. I thought that's kind of normal. I mean, the ones I used to wear had like them
ankle bits, a little strap under your foot,
things on the side,
wrap it around your calf at the top of the belt.
I wore them as well because I was a kid. I was in the early 90s. I always thought they were a bit more pro than the ones that you just slipped down.
Yeah.
With a little patch of velcro on in front, maybe.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the round your ankle.
Well, that's what I used to wear until I got older, obviously. But when I was a kid, I used to wear them when they had them big rubber ball things on your ankle. Type area.
I don't tend to wear them now because I don't get near us, like so.
But then,
I don't play very often.
When I seen Calvert-Lewin's and like everyone was making a joke saying like, "What have you got there? Like a pack of chewing gum or something?" And then he then retweeted, didn't he, and says like for a laugh saying, "Oh, they're a postage stamp or something like that." But they did look tiny.
They did.
It's a strange one, it really is. But we need to. I just think. I suppose Czech obviously because we're winning, they're going to come up with. But it'd be nice to see we're a little bit more sort of maybe composed and maybe just taking the game to them a little bit more. I thought scoring that early goal would settle us right down and then would be in the flow of it. But actually, it's been the opposite. I think in many ways.
I think the Czechs did they go 1 down against Croatia? Did they go ahead? I can't remember because they 1-1, didn't it?
I can't remember. I'll be honest, I can't remember.
Because obviously they beat Scotland 2-0. They've done really well, considering that they were meant to be the 4th place team in the group. You know, everyone thought England, Croatia would be the top 2.
Yeah.
Scotland were going to be 3rd, and the Czechs were really written off, but they've looked good, right? There's been no... They certainly haven't shamed themselves half-time when they get beat 1-0, so it almost sounds patronising to say that, but no, I think they've been all right.
I would weather that storm, that 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's not to say that we won't have another spell. I mean, in 45 minutes there's a good chance that we'll do it. it's that old cliche of really needing a second goal, isn't it? Although obviously a 1-1 draw wouldn't be the end of the world. No, then you're second place and you play against whoever you play in the second round and stuff like that. But you want to win all. Ideally, you want to win every game you play, don't you? But
I think so.
It's just that fear of going out on Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the tournament being over, but like we say time and time again, you've got to play them big teams at some point.
Imagine if you beat them in the next round. Imagine if you did. How much confidence you would get from that to go into the next one? You'd be like, "Wow, we've just been the favourites."
It's true that you've got to beat them at some point, but like obviously, if you play like a brilliant team in the second round, quarters, semis, and then final, it's harder than playing an all right team than a bit of a better team. So I'd still, it's part of this thing to get the easiest route as possible, and then like in 1990, Belgium, Cameroon. Weren't necessarily. I mean, Cameroon were unheard of before the tournament, as far as I was concerned. Like, I was only 8.
Dad, what was he called? That football?
Roger Miller.
He scored now, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was in the corner
little dance in the corner flag.
Francis Oman Bake. I think he was the one that got sent off.
Benjamin
Raston got sent off.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were rough. Like,
one of them was a dive as well. Like,
yes, there was.
One of them was a dive. Like, who was it? Ian Wright, Gary Neville.
Yeah, Keane.
Oh yeah, of course. We had him before the game, don't we? See what they're saying.
Yeah.
He's been a difference in, right? It's a bit of a shame that I haven't used him a bit more for me.
Well, I think that's because of Walker's not really backing him up down that side, is he? Like we've said, he's not getting forward in support. Whereas down the left hand side, you're seeing Shaw getting much further up the pitch and helping Sterling out.
It's a good goal right the way through. Even Harry Kane's little touch in the box.
Look where it starts, man.
Yeah.
There's so many people to battle for it, like, to be fair. Well, I like as well, Saka, they obviously
keeps running.
Because
you could have got a little there.
And even now, when he gives the ball, now the chance is gone. Watch him, just keep an eye on him. He goes into the middle, gets back on side, then goes into the box.
And he takes a defender away, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's what makes that space for Sterling.
Good goal, that. That's exactly what the Halo had to tell you what it is. That's what they're saying now. Saka's run, Raheem, thank you very much.
See, who needs professional pundits when you just?
Oh, exactly.
You can't be too disappointed with it.
It
hasn't been edge of the seat stuff, but
it's been good enough.
They're going about what the job as we need them to do.
If before the first game they said to you England, I mean, obviously it depends on its staying as it is, but if it said hypothetically we win this 1-0, you've gone through your group, conceded no goals and got 7 points, you'd take that.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
I mean, you'd rather score more than 2 goals in 3 games, obviously, but if you win every game 1-0, you win it, don't you? So I go back to Spain, won the World Cup in 2010, scoring 8 goals all the way through it. Lost the first game to Switzerland.
Weren't they?
Very hard to beat, aye. But you think that team as well? That team, they had loads of it. They had Fernando Torres, David Villa. Obviously, you had Xavi and Iniesta in the middle. They had loads of talent going forward, but...
So Keegan's trying to get we're all a little bit moist here. Imagine Saka and James on that side. It would be filthy.
I do like Reece James. Although I think Walker's played okay for the most part. He's been defensively...
I haven't really seen him at all this game. Because they haven't done now on that side of the field anyway, so be it that's a good job for him or whatever, but I haven't actually seen him really at all.
No, I think he's done all right. I think they all have. I can't really remember Maguire being involved that much, which kind of suggests to us that he's doing all right, because I think
there was just that little melee when the 2 or 3 players chucked themselves in front of the ball, wasn't it? Block it.
I think generally speaking, if you notice a defender, it's because they've done something wrong. Not an exact science out.
Maybe why we watched Try Running so closely.
He's like, aye. Keeper does really well there because
should he have passed that to Sterling there?
No. Well, it's easy to say that after the event, but if you watch the keeper here, normally you would expect the keeper just to take that extra little step towards his near post.
If he just plays that there, he's offside, Sterling. Actually,
you expect the keeper to be that little half step towards his up, and I think that's what Kane's banking on there. Because the keeper wants to cover that near post, it means he can have more sprint in his left to cover.
I bet he thought he scored there, when he hit it.
Kane does nothing wrong for me. That's good goalkeeping. Carl Darlow wouldn't have done that.
He'd get beaten at the near post.
Nah, he would have been Harry, bless him, I like Carl. Someone's knocking at the door.
Daryl's late to the party in the comments for the shout out to Jack for landing the Saints Twitter banner.
Oh, yes, aye.
Daryl, obviously, he's only just joined the stream.
I think
He's been AWOL in action.
Has he been on his bike again?
Must have been out for a bike ride, falling off his bike again.
Put some miles in that bike, mind.
He falls off it a
It
lot
falls
as well.
off it every 5 minutes, but
Feels it, I don't know.
He told me off for saying that the other day.
Oh, did he? Oh, it's Howland. Did he put in the group? What did he say? His man put something on his knee. Was it? Yeah, he said. I said, it must have been stinging. He went, every man put some cream on his
TCP or Savalon or something, wasn't it?
Put a Savoy on his knee or something.
Savalon! Get a bit of peace putting onion gravy on your knee.
How do you have your Savoy dips, lads? I use everything.
Everything, huh?
Oh, aye.
Mustard as well.
Oh,
The mustard's too. It takes away from the rest of it for me a little bit. Like
I used to. I did.
Stuffing, peas pudding, onion gravy.
Yeah, the lot. Well, the dip. Yeah, the
I like
I don't get it if I'm out and about.
I like the
get it if I'm
mustard
going home.
spread on the bun rather than like
Yeah, it's too much
on the top.
I enjoy mustard. I like mustard a lot, but it's just they often put too much on. A little bit of if I could put mustard on myself, I'd be happy. I'd hold that knife over here just to scrape, so you get the mustard taste, but it doesn't overpower the rest of it.
I didn't used to get mustard on because I wasn't sure if I liked mustard. That sounds daft to say.
Yeah.
And I used to just get the peas pudding and stuffing. Then when I got mustard, I was like, oh, actually,
I'll have mustard on a pork and crackman sandwich.
Pork and crackman, aye.
Great shout, that.
So Daryl's correct in your Decker.
Oh, sure.
It was an antiseptic cleaning wipe from the hospital.
Oh, Savoy.
It's still Savoy.
Still a Savoy.
Someone's knocking on the door.
Somebody's ringing the bell.
There was Daniel there in the old Aldi advert.
Who?
Burger.
Reese.
Thanks, I did it.
Oi, oi,
It's appalling
Savalon.
advert, isn't it? Appalling
It's a
advert.
weird one, this. I can't really, yeah.
Absolutely appalling.
I'm a bit hungry now, like watching that.
Right, I'm doing fish and chips. I
Yeah.
would
Oh,
really
aye.
fancy some
I
fish and
think
chips.
this advert's great, mate. I really like this one. It's the yesterday, the one on the sofa eating the bait. You get the colour of the wallpaper wrong and all sorts. It increases.
Got my jumper on there.
We're going open plan.
So Alan wants to know, Decker, I'll come to you first. Who's your tip to win the tournament?
I'm still. I said France at the start. I'm going to stay with them, even though they haven't been great. But I'll stick with France.
Stick with France. Bestie, obviously, we did our preview.
did.
So you've given your answer previously, but do you want to remind the viewers at home? Ellie's came well prepared tonight, hasn't he?
Yeah, honestly,
Got packed lunch, picnic a lot.
the one that we did with Roger and Jess. You know, you were in hot seat, weren't you, for that one? Well, they were all hot seats. I thought,
Very
right,
hot seats.
I'm bringing loads of juice. I'm getting the cool bag. I've got me little Gusto ice pack thing in there. I've got me one I use for me knee when it goes south in there as well. It's not as cold as I thought it would be, like, but it's cool though. But yes, I said France. I went with France. You can't really ignore Italy, how they've started. They look great. You could argue that my group wasn't the strongest, really. The Swiss on a fantastic side. Turkey, everyone's favourite dark horse, was so dark. They're barely horses at all, were they? And Wales kind of, I don't know, that Wales look good, but are Wales that good, really? Are they any better than like Scotland are? Or nah, I'm not convinced they are either. Gareth Bale, in particular, had a pretty poor tournament. There he is, in fact.
It's getting a boost now.
Yeah. But
No,
I
I think I agree there. Like,
it'll be in Italy. You've got Austria in the next. And Austria haven't been awful, but
Yeah.
the Dutch kind of swept them aside a bit last week, and I think Italy would do as well as Italy in the quarter straight away. So, yeah, I think if it's not France, you could be looking at Italy. I would love to think England could get quite far in it as well, but you know, there's not been much so far to suggest that England are going to get to a final and win it. But like I say, you don't win it.
The team that I don't know if I've said France, but the team I've honestly been impressed with was Germany. Like,
Yeah, Germany's
I
good.
really have been impressed with them.
That's who I'm kind of. So I said France at the start of the
I think everyone
tournament.
did, didn't they?
I think so, yeah, France or
I think they
France.
probably win, but the team I've been most impressed with is Germany.
Yeah,
I
they've been great.
thought Germany were pretty good against France as well.
That's what I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought they were great. Honestly,
Despite the result, I thought
Yeah.
they were very, very
for
good.
long periods of that game, it was just one-way traffic.
And I mean, can you describe Germany as a dark horse? But they
I
didn't.
know it feels
They
weird,
didn't
doesn't
go
it?
into the tournament with a lot of hype behind them or a lot of hope
Nah, they weren't.
to go on and perform. But
They weren't fancied when you think. I mean, I think they went out in the quarters of the last European Championships. They were awful in the World Cup.
yeah.
I mean, that World Cup, Mexico, South Korea, and who else was in the group? I forget now, but they should be. You think Germany will go through it? And those kind of
but behind them isn't it? Portugal.
No,
No, sorry,
the
the
World
World
Cup group.
sorry, the World Cup.
Oh, this one, yeah, France, Hungary, Portugal. Yeah, you really would have fancied them to get through that group, and they just never got going. So, like, obviously, Jogi Löw's retiring after this tournament, and he'll
have to touch himself a little bit more.
A bit of a sniff.
A little smell afterwards.
Sniffer. So he'll want to go out. Obviously, he's a World Cup winning coach as well. Like he's still. We were talking about the squad before the tournament started, and look at the players they've got. They've got as good a squad as anybody. I mean, people talk about Belgium, and Belgium are a good side, a really good side, and they could win it. I think Germany have got a better collection there. It's just how the players are used, isn't it? If Germany had Lukaku, Christ.
How good was he last night?
Yeah, he was excellent.
Oh, dear me.
Really, I'm going on me.
I can't believe that goal got given offside, though. Like,
It's one of those ones where it looks like it is just offside, but it
must. If it was, it's his big toe that's offside.
It's very, very little in it.
But the freeze frame they showed, the ball was blurred, which you would then think that it's actually the ball's in motion.
That's the problem.
So it's moving. So
you need one of them super duper slow motion cameras to work out when the
700 frames per second as opposed to 60.
For me, if it's that close in that instant, then you can't. It's how do you make a decision with definite? I don't like it.
Have I got any chocolate?
Oh, yes, Henderson coming on.
I don't have chocolate. No,
middle draw's the snack draw.
I did have a York in.
I don't know what's in it, but
love York.
Oh, there's a vending machine in there.
I've got to change it. When they said not for girls, huh?
Right.
I should have seen that.
Wouldn't it? We'll get rid of that easily.
So who's Henderson coming on for then?
Orange York here.
Hello, I haven't actually.
There's Grealish, there's Saka.
Phillips is out as
So
well.
it must be Phillips then.
No, Phillips has just come out there. I think it's Declan Rice.
Rice?
I think it's Declan Rice.
We'll find out in a second. If somebody in the comments doesn't beat me to it.
How are you the size you are? Declan, you should be my size.
Can you get my other drink out of there, please, Dicker?
Can I have garlic sauce with Chris?
What
What do you want this box?
Bulmers, please.
Can I have another one, do you think? How many you had there?
Excuse me.
Well, yeah, 330s, so
Oh,
650. That's just over a pint, that.
I'll have a cola. I'll have a roller cola.
Roller cola. Best of players here, mate. No chance of mate.
I just want something wet. I wasn't asked what
Does that always work for you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, it is Declan Rice off for Jordan Henderson.
Well, I'll take that.
You've only had just over a pint. What's going on?
I didn't do it.
Someone's knocking at the door.
What are these?
Cheese and onions.
Cheese and onions. Why we're in here. Apologies for the rustling.
I thought you were going to get the garlic sauce there as well, you know. I think I'll do it.
I was actually there.
I will do it. I'll cheese and onions, mate.
I'm not going to bowl. Big bowl up in the middle.
No.
We'll get wrong. Remember,
That's what you're getting,
remember we had the popcorn.
All right.
Oh, yeah, lads.
So both teams have made a change. I wonder if it was a forced substitution. Obviously, we've got no commentary on, so we can't hear the reason for the change. So, again, if you can let me know in the comments what the thoughts in the studio were on the substitutions.
I thought Rice done out, so I don't think there's any problems there.
Maybe he's just giving him some minutes, get his fitness.
I think that might be the thing, yeah. Because, I mean, when you look at it, you're bringing Maguire and Henderson back. They're the two big ones that were missing or took a ball straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Unlucky.
Henderson, that's trying now.
It was.
His first touch now, him.
It was obviously a quality player, Henderson, isn't it? The only question really is whether or not he's fit enough. I suppose the second half of the last group game, they're guaranteed to go through, is the perfect time to try him, really, isn't it?
Still no clues in the comments as to why we had the change, so hopefully we'll find out soon, but it's not really a tactical change, is it? So it doesn't change too much, does it? It's man for man.
Yeah.
So it's either, as we say, to give him a bit of fitness, or whether or not Rice picked up a little knock. Got a bit of pod use about in the old Czech manager, right? But with a beard.
You're sick, mate.
Be all the crisps you eat.
All them crisps and pop.
That's not poaching since you've been here.
Get a massive bag of Wotsits.
I haven't had any Wotsits. I'm starving, to be honest. Absolutely starving. Get it wide.
So Darryl thinks they're just giving them some game time.
Yeah, that
Makes sense, wouldn't
I
it?
think that's fair enough as well. Like Rice has he's played every minute so far, hasn't he? I think Declan Rice. That's fair enough. Move things around, why not? I think Henderson still starts if he's fit, doesn't he? You know, he's still first choice in the centre midfield ahead of Rice and Phillips. So
Well, Phillips was the one that wasn't meant to be in the team, and I think he's been outstanding, for the
very
first
good
2
against
games.
Croatia, yeah.
I've been very impressed with him.
You see that on BBC there, they put on. I don't know if I'm just being negative here, but they put on about Billy Gilmore. So they said, honestly, I spoke Scotland again, sorry, but they put on the top there, he may only play one game, but he's a Euro star. Like, what's going on here? No one can be a star of one game. Don't care what anyone says. You've got a star. Oh, God.
Oh, hello.
I think I'd gone, hadn't it? Yeah. Oh, well, lads.
That was a bit.
No, I think you're right, mate. I think it's as well as he played against England there. I mean, some players do have one-offs, and I think Gilmore's a good player. I mean, it's not the first good game he's ever played, but I think it's a bit early.
Just start.
Yeah. If he scores a hat-trick tonight, then we can talk then. Like,
yes, I'll give you that one, yeah.
He did play well.
I know, but they're saying a Euro 2020 star. I think, come on. It's one game. And he was all right. He was canny.
I mean, Al Stick can probably claim that one for his Scotland performance.
Yeah.
Little short number.
Keep us.
Could be a foul, maybe. No, it's not.
That was kind of like that little routine that we tried for a few games where we got a couple of goals from it, didn't we, at the beginning of the season?
When Williams was around, I think.
Yeah.
What's he? He just clatter him there, like,
a bad or is he?
That's a bad
clumsy, isn't it?
He just clumsy. I think that's probably a foul. That is he giving it?
That's a bad one. I'm glad he hasn't, but I'm surprised he didn't, to be honest. Because he talked about
it was a bit late, wasn't it?
It was late, yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, the teamwork.
I had some what's it called? Slow braised brisket.
Oh, very
A
nice.
little bit of mash.
I wasn't expecting that. That's a lovely meal, that. Fair play.
To be fair, it probably wasn't the weather for it, but earlier on today when I chucked it in the slow cooker, it was a bit cloudy and overcast.
I always think summertime slow cookers just don't go together, but it's always tasty. I like slow cooked food. Like.
But the sun decided to make a late appearance in the day. It's been lovely this afternoon.
Touch.
Nice chest.
Nice. Go. He's gone.
Oh, there's 4 in here. He's gone. Couldn't get it.
I think that's the first real foray forward in the second half, isn't it? Get there.
Yeah, it's all
he's done well. Well done, Calvin Phillips.
Lay back. Just give me a second.
And again.
Get it in. Nice.
Oh, you read that?
It was quite Beckham-esque from Henderson there, the way he wrapped
He's got a really good cross
on
him. He has got a decent cross on. See,
I actually thought it was Grealish at first.
The difference between Phillips and Rice for me, in all that motion, you see how many times Phillips was a positive pass there going forward. Like that, even the ball out wide was a quick positive pass. I do like Phillips. I do like.
I don't think that's the Leeds effect though. If they want to get forward very, very quickly.
Oh,
he's offside there.
He was off. Yeah, did well as well. Luke Shaw just maybe a touch too many before he give him it. Oh, England, this is better. The pressure though.
Yeah, it is better. As you say, pressure. Tempo's higher.
Yeah, it is.
What are you gonna do? Like,
I like Souček as well. He's good.
I do. He's a really good player. Yeah. Is he Christensen's goal last night?
Oh, five.
Thumped it, didn't he?
Smashed that.
Great hit, I guess, handball.
I think it's what's commonly referred to as a thunder bastard.
These days, yes, it is. It is.
That's good pressing again, that.
It is.
Well, it's definitely made a difference to the temperature in the room having the fans now, doesn't it?
It has. Is that not a foul?
Yeah, well, football's now without fans, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, exactly.
Quite.
I went up in my loft and got a big tower fan out, and it's
It's the same. It's a similar one. We've got the same thing. It's just the greatest thing ever.
A great belter, aren't they?
I love them.
it comes down in the summer, like when it gets to those hot and sticky nights.
Every night.
Hello.
Hello.
Bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow.
Like I was, because obviously Amy's increasingly pregnant.
Can't be that long now.
September 27th. What do you?
This
Well,
must be
she's due.
doing the heat and that. Must be
So it's
doing-
only
I
what,
think I'll be bringing ours upstairs.
2-3 months?
Left, yeah. 3 months
3 months.
in a week or 3 months and 5 days. So yeah, it's these warm nights are a bit of a. The fan comes in like.
Our first was born the end of July, and
Right.
Lisa really struggled like through the the May June.
Yeah.
She was massive as well, and
Aaron was August, like.
Get rid of it. I'll do it. Alfie was July, middle of July, and it was a hot summer as well, 2019.
All the best people are born in the middle of July.
Because she was talking about going to Glastonbury, and it's like literally it's now.
Space
I
over
would have
there.
been now at the end of June, and I was saying to my mate like, "No, you'll probably kill the baby."
Yeah.
Like it would have been. It was out. All the years I've been going, I've never known it as hot as that. It was outrageous. I remember I was on a phone at one point. And I'd walked like a mile across site to come and see someone, and the sweat was coming off my wrists. It was that hot. It was
Sweaty
like,
wrists.
I was like being at the gym,
you were honking, weren't you?
proper honking.
Proper honking.
I mean, I'm a sweater anyway, like, but
Whoa, hey.
What?
Oh, hold on. I think I might know. So we just had the question, is there a reason why there's no England flag on your bunting?
Oh,
I think the answer to that is because that particular piece of bunting is falling down earlier on in the game. Just like Decker's microphone, right on
you
cue.
know, I just touched that as well. Yeah, there's England
There,
here.
there, it
yeah,
is there.
Shall I try to stick it up? See how long it lasts?
Oh, it's
There's no end on
the
that.
warm weather in this room is taking its effect on the
Yeah.
double-sided sticky back plastic.
Maybe put it under one of the books, like you know what I mean, like jam it in.
To jam it. All right, I'll give it a go, like that. If it'll fit.
We're jamming if it lands that far.
Oh, I'm just spanning a bit of crisps in there, don't I, man?
Oof, who's that on the right there? Oh, camera's just moved.
I hasn't checked, look.
Should I should have something out anyway.
So Dashkins came in with a bold statement. He'd be taking Sterling off.
Might as well. He's done now. Except he scored the goal, but I mean, let's be fair.
He's been lively, like.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're going again.
No, he's not.
Oh,
That would have been
nearly,
coming to that one, wouldn't it?
nearly. That would have
That's all.
almost been perfect TV.
I don't know.
That worked. There you
Yeah.
go.
I think it's too hot in here for the adhesive strips.
Right.
Yeah, keep melting.
Well, my
Well, that's what
coat hands just fell out. Fell off.
we've lost 2 photo frames off the wall. The coat hanger with the scarves over there.
The wallpaper's starting to
Oh, if he had let that go through his legs, he was away.
If you want to destroy my sweater.
So Keegan's
These do play.
Keegan's agreeing, but
football,
only to
don't they?
protect him for the next game.
What's up with Sterling?
Sterling off.
I would seriously think about taking Kane off and putting Lewin on, but maybe he wants to leave him to try and get that goal, to get his confidence up type of thing.
Yeah, you'd like
That's
your
out.
main goal scorer to have scored in the group stage, wouldn't you? If you're progressing like, but I think have a look at Calvert-Lewin because he offers something different. He's
I
a
like
proper,
him,
he's a 6-yard box right there, and he's a fox in the box.
He's more of a target man as well, isn't he?
I mean, Kane's kind of got a bit of everything, hasn't he? I really like Harry Kane. For all he keeps on like breaking Newcastle defenders' legs. I think he's obviously a fabulous footballer. Like it just hasn't quite.
I don't think he played that poor tonight. Actually, he's been okay.
Yeah, he's done quite a bit.
He's been involved in a lot of stuff, hasn't he? Really. Well, as you would expect if we're going forward. You would expect him to be involved.
So Keegan thinks Kane's just dragging his heels. Darryl reckons he looks shattered. I wouldn't mind seeing DLC on. DCL even.
David Lee Travis.
David Lee Travis. Remember that? Was it David Lee Travis that had it? Where you used to play snooker on the radio? Was it him?
My dad was on it.
Was he?
Aye, what you won. I forget exactly what the format was. But my dad won one game and lost a second.
I used to like this and that. Like you start to choose your snooker ball.
Aye.
and then based on the ball was
You-
the points,
You kind
and it
of
was like your harder question,
you
wasn't it?
ran out of break, didn't you? No, my dad had it. You like I say, he won one, and I've got a cassette of it. Oh, he's got it somewhere, but he won a teddy bear in a snooker game with a Q and that. Like, it's still got it somewhere, I suppose. Like, yeah. Oh,
What?
no, that'll do. Well done, Kyle Walker again as well there. Well read by Pickford.
Pickford wasn't sure there, was he?
He wasn't for a second, but he got back quickly enough. But no, that was a good. It was a good show. That like. I suppose the equivalent now would be like Potmaster, wouldn't it? On two.
Yeah, BBC Radio 2.
Yeah. Is that what he called?
So
Jimmy?
that,
Is it
other
Jimmy
radio
Young?
stations are available. It's like the late morning show, isn't it?
10:30.
Simon Mayo still does a bit of a quiz as well.
Is he still
Is
on
he
two?
the one where
He's
he
on.
does?
That's
Is that the
poor.
one where he does like the?
Very poor.
No, I'm thinking of a different one.
It's lazy.
It's like
That
one-
pass there was shocking.
Yeah, he's under hit that. hasn't
Absolutely shocking pass that.
he? Yeah,
Naughty foul.
yeah. He's got Phillips in trouble there.
Did
Still.
you get booked? Oh, yeah. Did you get booked for that? Imagine you would have.
I don't know if he did.
Uh-huh.
Oh, might do for that though. George. Oh, hey. Bovril there.
His eyes are very close together, aren't they?
I was thinking that as well, but mine are quite far apart, like so.
Put the pair
I
of
don't
yours
wanna-
together, you'll come up with a perfect pair.
I don't. Maybe. Yeah. I've just got a big head though, so.
So is Harry Kane. Particularly Maguire as well.
Yeah, he's notoriously so. I feel a bit sorry for him with all the slap head pat. I mean, Maguire, like, he's not a wonderful looking bloke, like, but he's good enough.
Here comes David Lewis.
I thought it was not. Czech, is he?
Well, he looks young, though, doesn't he?
Oh, he does.
It hasn't been great, to be honest.
Nah,
It's just cancelling each other out, aren't they, really?
pretty much, aye.
The Czech are going to have to go for it at some point, though, aren't they?
Well, are they? I mean,
Well, they're out it.
no,
No,
not finished second.
Second.
I guaranteed first or second. Beat
It's not
Scotland.
guaranteed, are they?
Oh, aye, sorry, yeah.
What about goal difference?
Aye, because it's a draw in the other game,
What
isn't
happens
it?
if- Like, what happens if like we beat them 3-0 and Scotland won 3-1?
They'll have the points. They'll only have 4 points in the. Oh no, they would possibly. Oh no, because it will go head to head, and then the Czechs beat Scotland too.
Does goal difference not count? Like,
I think is a goal difference and head to head or head to head getting a goal difference.
I would think goal.
I think it is goal
surely.
difference and head to head.
I mean, it would take a miracle for them not. Like, oh god.
Well, I still guarantee to go through, because it just. Oh,
But if Scotland were winning, they'd both be on 4 points. But sorry,
Well,
Czech would have a
if
better
Croatia
goal
beat
difference.
Scotland, though, is that not enough to
Croatia's the same actually.
put them ahead?
But they'd all be on 4 points. All three teams would be.
Scotland,
Wouldn't
they're only on. They've lost both. They've only got 1 point, haven't they?
But if they win,
Yeah,
they'd be
yeah,
on 4.
if they win tonight,
we're all-
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
They'll all be on 4.
so if the Czechs lose this one, they have 4 points. If Scotland win, then they have 4 points. If
Yeah.
Croatia win, they have 4 points as well. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Sorry, I was. under the
But
impression-
goal difference, though, of course. At the
Yeah.
minute, Czech have got they would go a better goal difference. So there still needs
Yeah.
to be a lot of happening in half an hour football, goals wise. But
It could have happened. Look at last night.
That's
That
foul.
group with Denmark, Belgium.
yes,
Look at him
yeah,
as
well,
well.
that was getting.
That was a great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
half
Is that
hour.
a first booking?
I think it is. Aye. Same with the eyes.
Same out
Great
Bovril,
turn,
Bovril eyes.
That was a great turn. That really was.
I think someone with a bit better depth perception makes a better tackle there. Not too sure you don't see that. Jan Bovril.
Bovril.
Bit of beef in the middle of the park.
Oh, yeah, lofted in towards that back stick. Get Harry's big heat on it.
Tell you what would be mint, yeah, if Saka just legged it towards a byline, Walker just plays it to him. Not going to happen like that. You know?
There you go. Oh,
Corner ball.
All day.
No, Mike Williams issues.
Gets you up the pitch, doesn't it? Gives her another chance.
Yeah.
Offside? Fuck off.
Offside from a fucking.
Oh, Sterling again, man. Look, he's picking
Yeah, he's
nails
not-
off. Mind it's
Well,
second
he's
phase, like,
got
but
nothing to
that
do with it.
can't,
No, it's a bad decision, that.
that can't be
That's a
offside.
bad
I
decision.
think Croatia may be winning, possibly. I think Modric has scored. Oh, he's had a good shot anyway. Someone just put what a strike from Modric. So I imagine it's a goal.
We'll get a heads up one in a
We'll
second,
get
I
a,
suppose.
yeah, we'll get a little notification any second. Confirmed Croatia 2-1 up.
Oh, I didn't know he was there. I didn't actually think he was there.
I didn't either.
God.
I didn't either. Still not wonderful, like.
Handball.
I think that was on ball, that. He's been quite quiet the second half, Jack Grealish.
So, in order for that to happen, there needs to be a 3-goal swing between the Czech Republic and Scotland.
That could happen. I mean,
Watch it.
if Scotland win and the Czechs lose, there's a 2-goal swing straight away.
Oh. Yeah, I did well and I got back well.
Oh, that's a foul. No, I thought to get up.
Wow, I honestly thought that was.
I thought it was as well. Go on, Harry Kane. Just see there, that in Kane.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
You've seen him step under players, or I don't know, that it just didn't seem to be right to me, that people, they come together.
So Darryl
Okay,
reckons
we
the
are.
Modric goal was very reminiscent
Look.
of Nobby Solano. Oh, yeah, we go. What? Oh,
sorry,
yes.
Oh, lovely.
That's beautiful, that.
No, I don't think that is a foul. It looks like he pulls out just in time.
That's what Shane said.
Well, some player mind Modric. There we are. So yeah, the Czechs still second there, so they would need.
Just
only 1+1, so
goal,
yeah.
innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we scored another, that would put them on the same.
That would put them on the same.
Yeah.
Then it would go head to head.
Head to head, I think they drew, didn't they? 1-1.
True, yeah.
So that would go to goals scored, and the Czechs would go through because they scored 2 against. So
It
if
definitely looks
Croatia,
like David Luiz, like, doesn't it?
if Croatia scored again, then it would go to, I don't know what it goes to. It goes to drawn or lots or toss a coin or.
I was thinking more Colaccini, like a prime off version.
I
Yeah,
hope he's as bad as David Luiz.
funny player Louise, because he's either phenomenal or like rotten. There's not any middle ground with him.
He's rotten an awful lot of times, isn't he?
He's rotten more than
Yeah.
a player that plays for clubs he's played for should be.
Aye,
Like.
yes, absolutely right there. Yeah. Always got a mistake.
Well, you thought when he went to PSG, you thought maybe that the slower game and stuff like that would suit him a bit more, but
Yeah.
he didn't do particularly well there.
No, he did.
Think we need to freshen things up a bit?
Yes, I wouldn't mind.
wouldn't.
Like anything else to eat. Yeah.
We just
no.
got this
There'll
packet,
be some more snacks
Yeah,
in the
this
drawer.
packet of COVID crisps.
Are you not
That will be
liking
digging into.
you're
Like
not digging the cheese and
Billy Gilmore's crisps.
Seabrook, that's why. Seabrook
Nah,
are shit.
I read Seabrook. Crisp wise,
Oh.
like.
I just didn't fancy Chris. Like, I don't know what I fancy, but
Maybe you get the garlic sauce out and have them. Maybe better.
Is it not down on there?
It's in the fridge, eh?
Oh.
I'd be
There's
interested.
tomato sauce there as well, isn't it?
I think there is, eh? Tomato sauce and crisp, eh?
I'd be interested with garlic sauce. But yes, I think changing things. But he's been reluctant to Southgate, hasn't he?
I mean,
suppose
yeah.
Henderson came on for right at half time there, like so.
I mean, have we had a
Yeah, we're
shot?
getting a bit of action. Rashford.
I'm Bellingham.
Oh, I'm Bellingham, yeah.
Yeah, there's big.
There's Graham. There he is. There's the
Graham,
boss.
Yeah, put your house.
You
on,
tell him, Graham.
Put your house on Bellingham and Rashford, and not J-Well, because Graham Jones is involved. Split strikers.
I think it's green, mate. That's sub not Chalga.
Your dad's happy Rashford's coming on.
Is he? No, I'm down
I like to watch what he does. Yeah.
I like him as well, but I think bringing him on for Kane against Scotland was a wrong move. Friday.
I would have brought Calvert-Lewin's on, like.
David Travis,
Yeah, David Travers.
the hairy cornflake up top, bit of crunch there.
That's
Travis.
a foul.
That's got to be a crowd, that's not. Raheem,
It's good position to swing one into the box from here, like.
it is. It is.
Who's that on the
That's a
ground?
silly,
sure.
silly
That was
challenge,
awesome.
that, isn't it?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Like,
That's a shot.
What's he playing at there, man?
very similar to what's
Just
happening.
cattles him.
It was
Very similar to what I did actually. Have I had a shot the second half?
Nothing comes to mind.
Did Sterling No, they've cut out, didn't it? No, I kind of think we have.
This is where I get a bit worried about it. I just don't think. I know we're winning, but I keep thinking too far ahead. And I'm thinking, well, we are playing Jim now.
These are the positions that we should be capitalising on.
These teams, that's what worries us,
Oh, what's happening here? Is he making them go off? Oh, he's getting subs.
Right, subs.
Makes sense.
This is a better position
Still
for
for
Rashford for me, playing off the striker instead of being the
Unless he takes Kane off here.
Well, he's got
Kane off for Bellingham. I think
For
it'd be
Bellingham, maybe?
Phillips going
Phillips,
off probably
wouldn't
for
it? Yeah,
Bellingham.
I
You would have thought
same
so.
position.
We'll see here.
17-year-old man, it makes you sick, doesn't it? Another one though, has gone to Grealish off.
Oof.
Another one who's gone to Dortmund, similar to Sancho, and he's he looks superb.
Didn't it was Birmingham that signed him from, wasn't it?
Yeah,
retired his shirt
Aye.
after he left. That's a bold statement. Like, what, 16-year-old he would have been?
He will have been. It felt a bit over the top, like, but by all accounts,
Shouts for a penalty.
I've not seen much of him, but he's apparently a wonderful player. Like,
Maguire doesn't look very happy with that decision.
very cross.
Bit of industrial language.
Is that like three holding midfielders then, kind of thing, or can Bellingham play a bit further forward?
He'll go a little bit higher, won't he?
Yeah.
Looks like it's sitting quite deep there. I wonder if I think it might be right there.
Like three in the middle, but
Although Grealish was sitting quite deep, mind you, he wasn't playing like as a number 10 or as a.
but when he gets the ball, I feel he's willing to travel with it more than certainly them three will.
I wonder
Henderson looks the highest out of the.
if you look like Phillips is playing
Out of the two, doesn't he?
Phillips is playing right in front of the back four there.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It might be at this moment until
Because there's Henderson just coming into shot there. So maybe he's just going to play a little bit higher in that gap. Bit of a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well played, Phillips. Yeah, that was great. That was really good.
But to be fair, having that free, that means that at least they can push on a little bit more, and either one or two of them can sit back as the other one goes
That's
away.
what I mean, though. I don't think that style of play. If Grealish couldn't push on a bit, I think Phillips is going to be able to do that. Or
you wouldn't suppose that these two are going to carry the ball in the way that Grealish does. Like, is it going to see Kane come a little bit deeper for it, or?
Oh, there is a little push in the back, but
There is,
not enough to warrant gun down like that.
he's pushed him there. Like.
Oh, it's a straight arm as well. I think.
But look how he.
Maguire's probably done that to millions of players himself. Like, but
You see them giving.
He's gone down like the bloody Titanic there.
Well, it's slow motion, I mean, it wasn't.
The orchestra sitting on his back, playing a little tune. Come back.
No, you're right, though. It was slow motion, which caused me to look a bit more dramatic. Touch. Is that Bovril?
He's been everywhere, him, last 10 minutes or so.
He has.
It's got to start Disney's eyes.
That's a terrible ball.
Oh, how's your touch? And away, go on.
Oh, he was fast now.
Go on, son.
Great.
That's a
good tackle.
superb
Great
challenge.
tackle.
That's really well done, that.
Won it back nicely. David Luiz follow that.
Bellingham putting the pressure on there. Excellent.
Whack, oops.
Yeah. All right. God, we're old.
He's got a bit thin on top there, isn't he? Southgate at the back.
Probably off the Scotland game. Here's Farmer. Misery, him, isn't he? That bloke. Misery.
I like Southgate, me, you know.
No, I do as well. As I say, I said the same when Bush was in charge of us, and I say it about him. I don't believe that he should have the job. I just don't believe he's done enough in football to have that job.
I think he's a little bit too, and I think the Scotland game, I've actually thought about the Scotland game this weekend, that it feels like he would have been in the dressing room beforehand saying, lads, just play a game, don't get wrapped up in the atmosphere, the event, the occasion. Just play a game, stick to your, like, be as disciplined as you can. Whereas I think that in a game against Scotland, you've got to have that little bit of edge. Where the Scots would have been, Steve Clark would have been saying the opposite.
Yeah,
like get it in the thing,
absolutely.
Sassenach. So, and honestly, I think Southgate's so kind of methodical. He's so.
He seems to me the type that would have played like some sort of like pre-video or something for the lads before kickoff. Southgate pushing like that type of person. With like a massive motivation.
When you saw obviously the open letter that he wrote to the fans and stuff like that before the tournament and getting everybody fired up, like you that's what you want to be hearing, but then it just hasn't been followed up by that passion in the displays, has it?
I don't think. I think. I don't think he's that kind of
Go on,
manager.
push
You
him
know,
in, push him in.
you think about like I don't know,
Well, Adam Telford summed it up for us. Southgate really isn't a good manager.
Well, my question is, would he be a top 4 manager in the Premier League? Would he be top 6?
Nah, well, he failed. He failed everywhere he's been, hasn't he?
So
Failed at Villa, failed at Borough.
I'm not necessarily saying it has to be that
He
way.
did all right with the under-23s, which is why I think he fell in it.
No, maybe he did all right at the under-23s. Under-23 level to that level is just night and day.
But he knows a lot of the players have came through from that squad, haven't he?
Maybe he does. But if he leaves England tomorrow, who's he going to manage?
well, before he got the England job, he couldn't. He didn't get a job for I think he was linked with Crawley at one point. Didn't get a job, so.
But I do think he's a really nice guy. And I want him to do well. I certainly don't want him to fail. But I just feel, having said all of that, having said everything I've just said there, look at the times when we have had loads of experience with Capello, and we've had loads of experience, and it's never worked either. So,
Sven.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sven because
I like Sven, but I still think the players that Eriksson had, he should have really
better.
got more out of it.
Yeah,
I think Southgate's. I mean, I think it's for a bloke who's got to a World Cup semi-final. I think it's a little bit unfair. A lot of the
Last tournament he did very well.
Yeah.
It's just never.
But was any of them
I
games
don't think
you
it's
think we
just
should have lost though?
It's ever
Well,
gone anywhere since then, has it?
Like
we should have been Iceland in 2016.
well, exactly, absolutely.
In the 2014 we got beat off Costa Rica in the group stage. We didn't get out of the group stage. 2012 we weren't great. 2010 we were shocking. I mean, the football is. I mean, this is. It's not the swashbuckling. It's not beating Holland 4-1 or Germany 5-1. But it's
it's more like Brewster's.
It is a bit. But if you're beating teams,
One.
I think I said earlier on, if you're finishing the group 7 points, no goals conceded, then you're doing it right.
Yeah, but then I know when we play anyone else, we'll get beat. If we play Belgium tomorrow, for example, we'll get beat. We will get beat.
They'll be knackered tomorrow.
Well, do you know what I mean? So, it's like the qualifying situation where Rin's qualifying, everyone gets waxed lyrical. Oh, amazing! Fair enough. We beat San Marino, we've beat whoever. But when we come against a really, actually, I say great side, a half decent side, as the World Cup proved, Belgium lost twice and Croatia once. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, I hope I'm wrong. Of course, this time I hope we get through, and I hope we'll beat whoever we play. But
I do agree with a lot of the criticism leveled against Southgate. I think he is a bit too pragmatic. I think. Especially, I was just saying earlier. What's it? Weird one. I was saying earlier about the Scotland game where I think he's maybe drilling the players right. You've got to be mature, be kind of even-headed and stuff. Where it's a kind of game where having a little bit extra kind of bite can really work for you, as I think it did for Scotland. Scotland would have played better against England, or they would have tried harder, if you want to say that, than they would have done any other game because it's England. And I think he's a little bit too far into the kind of theory side of it, and the kind away from the chest beating, the passion shite that you get off like someone like Stuart Pearce, maybe. Not, but I still think he's a good manager. I just think he's a little bit too cautious, a little bit too pragmatic.
Especially when you're playing with 3 defensive midfielders now.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of playing 2 all the time either, if I'm honest with you. I definitely think there's certain games you should do that, of course. But there's certain games I'm like, really? Do we really need 2 to just sit there? I don't
He's coming in for a lot of sticks in the comment. Southgate couldn't even beat a team that had Carver as coach. Southgate is the Steve Bruce of international football.
I think that's dead harsh, me, you know. I think it's really harsh. Like.
Southgate probably thinks Coldplay are the best band ever.
That's pretty fair. I think it pretty does.
This is the best. Southgate puts tomato sauce on his Sunday dinner.
Hey, don't know that. Don't know that.
Southgate is the kind of man that keeps his socks on when he's booking his missus.
I did see once Southgate shakes his wife's hands after sex. I thought that was amazing, man.
And your dad's glowing reference is you should have Jordan watching this because it would soon put him to sleep.
Yeah, he's probably right. I mean, Ben's probably up now screaming. It hasn't been great, has it? But I suppose we're winning. I suppose could be worse. Could be nil.
Like I say, I'll settle for this every game if you win all 1-0.
But we won't though. That you can say that about Newcastle. You can, we
Like you could play poor and we went out every week, but you know every week it's not going to be like that. And
It hasn't been entertaining, has
It's
it?
been shocking.
Not especially.
It's been Scotland game was poor as well, and I don't know if they're in the lead and they think, oh, it's enough and it's great. You know,
Well, look, I mean that's a Czech fan there, and he's bored as
He's
Yeah,
pretty nervous as much as he's bored. Like,
with performances like this, no effect. You do want to come second. You do want to play whoever it is you mentioned.
It doesn't instill a lot of confidence in.
No.
in
Well, look, I've watched Germany play. If Germany finish second, we get Germany.
Oh,
Christ. But we're after a really liftful game. And can you do that just overnight? One thing I'll also see with tournament football is you don't want to peak too early. You want to progressively get better. The thing is, I'm not saying we're getting better personally.
I'm loving all these Southgate comments. So please keep them coming, because this is the highlight of us having to endure watching this one. So we've got a couple more. Southgate's favourite TV show. Mrs. Brown's Boys.
oh, that's far too lowbrow for Southgate. That like.
Darryl reckons Southgate puts milk in his green tea.
That's very middle class.
That's a dive, Kane.
I'm not having this one. Like Southgate eats his soup with his top on.
Look at him, he's back up now. Look at him, it's not a foul. That's shocking, that.
Yeah,
Lads,
isn't it?
News just in from Hampden Park.
Oh, well, don't spoil it for us.
Okay, I'll not spoil it.
Because it's going to come on the
It's
screen.
going to come up on the screen.
I hope it's 2-2, like for me bet.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, there we go.
Tyrone Mings.
Yes,
Probably for
Tyrone.
Maguire, won't it? Fitness, maybe, perhaps.
For Kane.
About 3 on the
There we
midfield.
go.
3-1.
Mind you, what's that mean for
Corner.
Czech then?
Oh.
Oh,
It's a lovely little,
little
flick
flick on
that.
near post.
God, we couldn't even
so that
score.
puts
We couldn't even
Croatia
score
second now,
against
doesn't it?
England.
No, it means that level goal difference with the Czechs as well. Tyrone Mings on for Johnson. There we are. Oh, Croatia second, yeah.
Yeah. And that'll be because of alphabetical order. Goals scored.
Goals.
Alphabetical order. Aye, of course, that's what it is.
Goals
Aye.
scored,
Yeah,
mate.
it was goal scored.
Can you imagine if it was alphabetical order? Oh, sorry, mate, you're Z. You
No,
got
mate,
Yeah.
we'll have to get like down to that. Like if
course they
goals,
wouldn't.
I don't think
goals
they do
for,
that.
goals against.
What, someone's going to get knocked out on alphabetical order?
The draw lots, don't they?
Imagine if you, I don't know, if you goals for, goals against, your results against each other was all identical.
They did it in 1990. Our group, England, Netherlands, Ireland, and Egypt, and I think the Netherlands and Ireland had to be separated by basically toss a coin, effectively.
So 3-1. That's it. The Czechs have to come out now, right? They'll
There
try and
again,
get something,
there's another
or rely on Scotland to get into the game.
1990 in the group stage, they drew 2-1-1 against Egypt, snuck a winner. Mark Ryan header, all rubbish, and then got the semis.
96, Netherlands scored that one goal against us, didn't they?
Patrick Kluivert,
That
put a
took
Scots
them
in.
through.
Yeah.
Scotland now, aye. So apparently the final decider is disciplinary record.
Really?
So number of yellow cards and red cards, if I've had any.
Czechs only had one yellow card, didn't they?
Dark by Design wants to know, has Fraser played in any of the games? He came on the first Scotland
First
game, didn't
one,
he?
yeah.
As a
Didn't
substitution.
play against England, did he?
That's all right.
Darryl says we shouldn't knock the alphabetical order. It's got Sunderland starting the season in the bottom three of League One.
Nice, fair comment. Good ball.
Mine, since he brought Bellingham and Rashford on, like, I don't think I've seen Rashford touch a ball yet.
No, I agree.
Picked it up on the left-hand side, I think, and that was about it. It certainly hasn't got forward towards the goal or got anywhere near.
Sancho warming up. I really like to see more of him, you know. Not like as in like shorter shorts.
Should see like a little bit of thigh. Take his top off for you.
Like how Jack Grealish does it with his short shorts and no socks. Oh, cool bags at when I'm doing this again.
The fans are having a little sing-song there.
No, there's loads to shout about.
Good winners, lads, have done exactly what they had to do. Look, even give Scotland a little bit of hope before they took it away themselves.
I couldn't even score against them, you know.
Here's a good one. Favourite goal of the tournament so far?
The one from the halfway line.
Shtick.
Stick against Scotland, it's hard to disagree with that one. Like the
That one in Christiansen that we were talking about earlier from last night. That was a
really good goal. That I really like the Italy's third against Turkey in the first game. It was a lovely passing move. That. Aye. I think it's got to be that. I mean, you can't see past that stick one. It's unbelievable. It's just that
audacious, isn't it? To hit it from there with that amount of bend, and get it that pinpoint just to sneak in underneath the. I mean, there's a massive amount of fluke in it, but he's intended it.
He's meant to do it.
He's meant to do it, but
fluke by who?
Stick for that.
I don't think it's actually fluke. He's tried. He's
doing exactly what he wants.
He's done exactly what he's trying to do.
How many times have you seen John Joe Shelby attempt to do that, and where does it end up?
Well, that doesn't mean it's a fluke. That means he's done very well.
I know.
There's a massive helping of luck going into the back of the net.
Where?
You're insane. Honestly, you're insane. It would be luck if it was wind or something, or it hit the ref and went in, or hit a fucking beach ball and went in.
To say it didn't take a little bit of wind.
If it was like Harry Kane's day against Panama when it comes off the back of his heel and loops over the goalkeeper, like, fair enough, but nah, there's no luck in that. No, he's.
How can you say there's no luck in it?
Because he's tried to score from the halfway line and has succeeded in scoring from the halfway line.
So that means every single goal that's scored, there's luck involved. In your point, you shoot from anywhere.
If you're
he was in there now.
You're hitting it from the halfway line, from that far out on that angle. You've got to have a bit of good fortune for that to go in.
Not really. It's technique.
Come on.
No.
Just think how many times you've seen people attempt to do that, and
so then we've got bad luck.
I can only think.
So you said John Joe Shelby tries all the time. Is that because he's unlucky? That's why they haven't gone. He's unlucky.
Shelby did actually succeed once against Villa. I think
that's one on the volley as well.
I can only think of maybe he's
hit the ball in the championship before.
4 goals that have been scored that way.
So why would everyone else has been unlucky then?
You could say that the Xabi Alonso.
No, but I'm saying like the amount of people that have attempted to do that, you can only think of
Alonso. That's lucky. I'll give you that one. Yes.
Alonso, the Beckham one against Wimbledon.
Alonso did it twice.
When he does it.
One in the League Cup against.
So what's lucky about Beckham? What's lucky about that?
Yes, he's
attempted to do it. What's the commentary? You're gonna get in grief here. Gotta be getting.
There's no luck at all there. Like it's
stupid. It's nonsense.
Dear,
I'll give you saying the Harper one because he fell over.
He should be dealing with that quite easily, Harper.
Well, but you could say that against Scotland if the keeper wasn't 3 mile off his line.
Yeah, but if the keeper's not 3 mile off his line, he doesn't try that shot.
Exactly.
I reckon even if he's at the edge of his box, he tries it.
Nah, but no. It's Scotland tactic though that Marshall always does that. It's where Steve Clark's got him playing. He's like a sweeper basically in that regard.
But Alan reckons it was a hit and hope shot.
What? Hit and hope?
It is, isn't it? Well, you swing and you put on it thinking, if I connected this right and it...
No, hit and hope's Mike Williamson when he used to play for us. When he would just lump the ball. That's just hit and hope.
If it's hit and hope in that he's swung a boot at it and hope it's got in, then every shot ever is a hit and hope.
Like that was a hit and hope there. That just lumped it down the line. That's a hit and hope. You're just hoping someone.
No, he's seen the keep off his line. He's thought, right, I can put this over the top because that's how Marshall plays. So he's seen it happen before, and he's thought, right, he's maybe lucky in that it's fallen to him where it did, but the actual act of taking the shot and getting it over Marshall's not. There's no luck involved at all for me. Like I think that's outrageous.
How?
Nah.
I didn't understand the argument.
He could attempt that shot another 50 times
because he's unlucky. Then another 40.
It'll never go in.
That doesn't mean it's lucky though.
But how doesn't it?
Well, because it's not. It just
surely there's an element of luck to it.
He hasn't won the lottery. He's taken a measured.
You're trying to say he's lucky because he's made the perfect connection.
He's lucky because his technique was very good.
No, he's lucky. He's lucky it's gone in.
Oh,
he's offside.
No, I don't think he is.
No, he's not. To goal that he passed it.
I thought a defender played that too.
He's offside there.
No, he's not, man. The defender passed it, man.
He's lucky there, isn't
he? He's very lucky.
He's offside.
Offside?
I thought it was a defender played him.
It's a defender, isn't it? Yeah.
Be interesting to see the replay here.
Hit the player. I thought so as well. That'll count.
I completely missed that actually happening.
It'd be interesting to see if VR get involved, yeah.
Definitely hits their player.
Well, it goes backwards here. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, looks like
he's miles offside. There's 2 of them offside.
Oh, he was in an offside position, but it looked like Bellingham.
we're trying to say I thought it was his foot. I thought it was the Czech player's foot that passed the
In the
ball.
back.
I'm not convinced it was in the end.
Oh,
That's a lucky he
sorry,
comes up.
just
Yeah.
sorry.
aye, that's a lucky goal.
This is what they're looking at. Nah, he's offside. Yeah,
it's
but
offside.
it is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Nah, there's no luck involved there.
Isn't he look involved in that?
You missed it. Imagine Germany run wild on these donkeys.
I hope we don't get them. Man.
There's a good chance we will. Depends because of France, Portugal, Germany, Hungary. I think Germany could win that group, you know.
The Hungary one was a shocker.
It was.
Wasn't it? A real
It
shocker.
was.
It really was.
But then Hungary, they kept Portugal out until like 80 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
Then,
it was mint as well.
We can't finish second now, will come on.
yeah, if we oh no. Yeah, if we draw. Because the the Czech Republic started off with more points than us.
So what they are now? 3.
4.
Because the level with
Four.
Croatia, which is 4.
Yeah.
We're on 6 at the moment.
So they'd go on to
They've
they'd
got
go
a-
to 7 and we go on to 6.
then
No,
we're going
we're
to
on
si-
4. Sorry, So they'd go on to 7 and we go on to 4.
We've got to 5 because we've got 4 points now.
Yeah, we're going to 5.
5. Wouldn't what why.
And then
Yeah.
we're going to 7.
So we could finish second still.
Well, they're not going to
yeah.
score 2 in a minute. Like, but,
Well, they only score 1 to finish top.
fair enough. You would think the message will be onto the players now from them saying, we're going out.
That's why he's brought. That's
Yeah,
why he's
we've got
brought
the-
Tyrone Mings on, man.
We've got the same points as them, but they've got the goal difference because they beat Scotland by
Aye.
2-0, whereas we beat Croatia by 1.
Nice.
Oh, hello. Oh,
To the middle, that's it.
turn, get at him. There's nothing ahead of him in the middle
No,
there.
there
was
wasn't.
really?
There was actually nothing there.
That's good. Go on, get there.
So
Get there.
Keegan sent were a link to a goal to watch after
Good
the
referee in
match.
that.
All right.
So once the match finishes, we need to go onto Twitter and have a look at the goal he sent.
From this tournament.
No, it'll be the, by any chance, the American one where he absolutely blasted it.
Oh, the crossbar
He
break.
hasn't told us. He hasn't said. He's just said
If it's that goal, anyway.
we've sent it for to have a look at once the game finishes. He wants to see our reactions.
Maybe a bit lucky, like.
Oh,
Keep us
Good cover like, from
Nearly.
as well.
foot on the ball there, Jordan. No daft.
For all,
just seeing this out now, aren't they?
yeah, well, for all it hasn't been entertaining and we haven't commanded the game that I thought we would. We have defensively looked good though.
Yeah.
Like them haven't really caused.
They've
any
never.
problems.
I'm disappointed in Stickler because he's
Yeah.
been. Good
I mean,
in
going into the game,
couple of games.
I wouldn't really expect them to cause them much trouble. Like, I wouldn't be having nightmares over Czech Republic like last night. Do you know what I mean? But still, in international football, I bet France and I thought Hungary were going to score. Do you know what I mean? So you've still got an opposition to beat, and that's, I don't want to be disrespectful to them, but we've done well in that regard.
There's still time yet. Still time for him to score yet.
Southgate's upped his dress code tonight.
It-
It's an improvement over his last.
The pre-season gear was poor. Go on.
Go on, get it in, get it in, get it. Oh.
Yeah, the friendlies pre-tournament, these little shirts with the kind of line around the collar didn't work for me at all. Like, but that's better. There we are. But yeah, this
New waistcoat, isn't it? The waistcoat was the one. Wasn't it?
the waistcoat, like I say, Steve Arnott's commandeered that now.
Yeah.
Put your foot through it.
I was watching something the other night, and one of the lines in it was "Mother of God." I started like killing myself laughing.
No,
You just don't expect it to come out of somebody else's mouth.
it's proper Hastingsism, isn't it?
3 minutes stoppage time.
Get out.
Oh, nearly.
That was a good header, that one. It nearly got through there.
Good defending as well.
Yeah, it was.
Aye.
2-1-0. I would never have thought that going into the tournament.
Not with the players we've got or the options that we'll have. Yeah, it's definitely Bellingham with the touch there.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I haven't seen Calvert-Lewin.
I did fancy Kane getting on tonight. Like I really did. I had a bet for him to score.
Well, he had that one chance, didn't he?
Yeah. He hasn't had a sniff for second half, chance-wise, has he?
Nah, not really.
All has been just flicking headers.
He's
on.
playing deep. He's linking play up rather than getting on the end of things. Oh, it's poor.
He's kind of to be honest.
Yeah, he's
That
kind
was David Lemieux, that wasn't it?
he's coming deep and linking things up rather than kind of getting on the end of things. Kane at the minute, like he's been doing it all through the tournament, like, which is why I don't know. It's a lovely ball over by Grealish. It's a good header. It's a really good. I think that's a good goal. That
It's a good
Great
goal.
goal.
Yeah.
So many people had a good moment in it. Saka did really well. Kane did well to get
That's
it back
our
to Grealish.
Bovril there on the line as well.
Oh, it is the way they recycle it, because obviously the Saka puts the first cross in, doesn't quite work out, but yes, Raheem.
If we play like this, I kind of see us getting past the Germans.
Yeah, that's what
I can't see we're getting past anyone.
Well, defensively resolute while getting the. Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll win it, man. I don't think we will win it, but it's not. I'm not as doom and gloom.
There's four better teams in this competition than us.
Well,
And when you look at this is the frustrating thing, because when you look at this team, of the individuals that we've got in it, there's enough flair and enough excitement and good players in there to do more than we're shown at the minute.
Just a long ball
What
here.
is it?
Good chance.
You know when Portugal won it, 2016. You know how they're finishing that group. How many games won in that group?
I know.
During all three, they didn't win
No.
it. The only game they won in 90 minutes was against Wales,
Yeah.
and they won it. Now you don't. The group stage doesn't tell you anything. Like I said,
You just expect to see more of a performance, though.
It's not even goals. I mean, I would expect to score more goals. I would certainly expect it to score against Scotland. I just think the performance over 90 minutes, I haven't really seen a good one in 3 games. Like, we don't look controlling, commanding, confident at any stage of the game, really.
I think that's true. With the players he's brought on tonight, Bellingham, Henderson, and Phillips on the pitch. Like, you would think there'd be more control, would just have the ball pretty much constantly, wouldn't you? And that hasn't been the case.
No, not at all. No.
The Czechs haven't really trouble. I mean, that's full time there now.
Yeah.
But I'm like I say, that's 7 points, no goals conceded in the group. Tournaments are won on good defences.
Yeah, no goals conceded is fantastic. No doubt.
Tournaments are won on good defences, and there aren't many teams that will concede no goals in the group in this tournament. I think it's only us and Italy so far.
So here's a good one from Neil. Would you take Southgate at NUFC over Bruce?
Would you take Southgate ahead of Bruce? Yeah, I think I would. I think it's an outrageous slander on the man's name that he's even being compared to Steve Bruce, to be honest with you. I really do. I don't think Southgate's perfect by any means, but he's a far more modern manager than Steve Bruce.
Is he?
Oh, God, aye. Totally.
What evidence have you got to back that one up?
Well, Moyes demeanor, tactically, I think Southgate he's more conservative than I'd like. But listen to how he talks before the World Cup. How they got he completely changed how the players interacted with the media and stuff like that, and it was down to him. And Steve Bruce wouldn't be doing that. I honestly, I think Southgate's he's not a wonderful manager. I don't think, but I think he's a better manager than Steve Bruce. God Almighty.
I mean, he's when you look at his managerial record and stuff, there's nothing to suggest that would be, but bar the last tournament,
except for the
bar
World
the
Cup,
last tournament,
except for the World Cup semi-final.
That's probably it, isn't it? But you can't. How long can you live on that?
I think that's mad. We've got 3 World Cup semi-finals in our history. Alf Ramsey and Bobby Robson.
That's what I don't think he would manage a top half team. Even if he walked in only with his CV saying, I did finish in the semi-final, I don't think anyone gonna fuck.
I think being a club manager and international manager are two not completely different skill sets. But you kind of look at Capello was a wonderful club manager, didn't do anything for England really. Kevin Keegan was phenomenal at Newcastle, great at Man City, great at Fulham. Terrible for England, very poor for England by expectations. Graham Taylor, brilliant at Watford, great at Villa, shite for England. It's a totally different ball game, and I think I'd rather have Southgate in there at the minute than a lot of other people.
Well, we might find out if Bruce goes to Spurs.
Aye. Have Real Madrid replaced Zidane yet?
Southgate will get that job.
I don't think so. But anyway, it's finished 1-0.
Yeah, it's possible.
That's us topping the group.
I should be happier than I am. I think.
Group winners, lads.
We'll go through to play the runner-up of Group F.
Yep.
or the
So
group of death, which is
it's still it could
likely to
be
be Germany or
Germany or
possibly Portugal.
It's weird because if Portugal get a result against France, if Portugal like Kate will get a result against France, you just don't know because
there's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because that draw against Hungary really cat amongst the pigeons.
Totally, it's open right cans of worms all over the shop. That no, that was a big result that in that group because you look at France beating Germany and think, oh well, it's going to be a procession here for them, and it hasn't been. I think that's a even without the kind of connotations for England, that's just a really interesting group to follow.
So we've got at the moment, as it stands, France are top with 4 points, and then Germany and Portugal obviously have got 3.
Yeah. Hungary with 1,
and the goal difference is all 1 as well. So.
Yeah.
You would have thought. I mean, you would imagine that France would have beaten Hungary, but Germany surely beat Hungary.
Maybe they just had a day off against Hungary.
But then again, Hungary did really good. Mentioned earlier that they did really well against Portugal until the last 10 minutes or so. They had that. Hungary had that goal disallowed, and it just completely they felt a bit afterwards.
So yeah, if Germany win, so this is how I think it'll play out.
Yeah.
So I think Germany obviously will beat Hungary, of course.
Yeah.
That'll put them on 6 points. And if France and Portugal drew, that means France would be second with 5. Germany,
Christ.
Obviously, if France win, we'll be playing Germany because they're going to beat Hungary. So
yeah. Is there any? How would Portugal finish second in that?
Portugal.
If Portugal beat France, Germany won. Is that Portugal second on head-to-head?
Yes, France would be out.
Yeah, it would be out.
Over third place. So probably out on 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's three teams on 4.
They haven't got a great goal difference.
Well, France have got 4.
Germany.
France have got 4.
Oh, so they could.
Yeah.
Right, so they could still be in there.
If Portugal beat them, obviously that would move them to 6, and Germany would also have 6. So they would be on 4 points. France would be.
It's going to be a hard game, whatever, in the second round. It's a tough game.
I'm really looking forward to it, to be fair, because
well, I'm not looking forward to whoever does finish second, and we've got to.
It's a proper big game, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not saying I would like to finish second, but you'd obviously rather have the easier in inverted commas route. But like big games.
I know your answer. I'm not going to ask it.
No, go on. I don't know you.
Yeah, I know what your answer is going to be. I know for a fact, but like. This is maybe because I feel this way about the World Cup. As much as I was loving that in the semis, do you never look back and go, like, well, no, like we've had, we've played Primark, we've played Asda, we'll play really poor sides, and then we've lost. We've get in the semis, but we've lost, or the quarters, and we've lost.
Yeah.
Like, does that bother you at all, or not? You just want
I wouldn't say it bothers us.
Bothers is probably the wrong word.
You've obviously got to recognise that in the World Cup you've beaten Panama, Tunisia, Sweden and Colombia on penalties, more or less. So out of those 4, you kind of think, well, he should be beating those teams, really. But that's to me, that's
and honestly, we scraped through.
Well, against Colombia, Sweden would beat comfortably in the quarters.
That's why
But it's not by no means one of the great Sweden teams. Look at Sweden in '94 or '96.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not '96, '94 certainly that World Cup. '92 with Thomas Brolin,
Darling.
Martin Darling up front, Ken Anderson in the team.
Whereas I'm the opposite. Means I'd rather like play France or Germany next. If you can, I mean, based on the evidence I've seen, we wouldn't. But if we could beat them, I really feel that that's a real statement and a real, like, Jonah is like, we've just beaten a real good opposition.
It's going to give you a massive confidence.
And if you go out, when you go out,
and a game against Germany, anyone of Germany, France, Poland in the second round, that's what tournament football is about, isn't it? That's like, obviously for me, I would love to play. You
said Poland.
Sorry, Portugal. I did mean Portugal. Yeah.
Everybody wants.
I would love Hungary to sneak through, so play them. It's unlikely, but it could happen. It's possible. But because I want to get as far in the tournament as I can, I'd happily play Jarrah. I'd happily play.
But it's like when we're playing in the cups, you want to be playing Morecambe and Oxford and stuff there just to get as far as you possibly can.
No problem at all.
Take the easy route that's in front of you, innit?
But I agree with what you're saying in that. As impressive as getting a World Cup semi-final is, you have got the caveat that the teams whenever they played a big team, call them big, they didn't do very well. But then we look at the Nations League afterwards, which I know is a different kind of fish. It's nearly a friendly. They pumped Spain. They played really well against Spain as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. The Holland game was so poor. It was a shame.
The Holland game was poor. Yeah.
So that was a shame because we actually did all right in that.
But honestly, I'm quite happy to get every World Cup semi-final beaten like I don't know.
Well, Panama and people.
I'd rather play North Macedonia every week than play.
I think I'm being negative on the performances I've seen, but as Bessie said, 7 points, top of the group, haven't conceded a goal. let's
Yeah.
clap your hands and move on, right? That's what
Yeah.
you do. And I'm actually glad they've went and won the group, because I know there was a lot said before, let's finish second and take the easier route. I'm glad that they've went and won the game, and they're willing to take on whoever it is that's going to be next to. Possibly looks like maybe France. Or
It's going to be a hard game regardless.
it's going to be tough,
I mean,
right?
even if it is Hungary,
Yeah.
Hungary would still have got through on merit against.
Well, they've got to beat the
You know.
Germans, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that arguably, other than France, I think Germany could win it.
I think Germany
Based on
could
what I've
win,
seen, obviously.
Germany, I mean, Germany, like I said earlier, you look at that squad.
And the next game, is that played at Wembley again? Or is that in Rome?
No, it's in Rome.
It's in Rome, yeah. So I don't know if that might, I don't know. We haven't exactly looked like we've been playing at home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It don't really
Yeah.
look like
I
that.
thought that would have had a more of an impact on the team than it has. Like,
it was all
Yeah,
home
I
games,
did, yeah.
they've all been home games.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought, and it hasn't worked that way at all. Well, I'm through, but I mean, like in terms of the performances. But me personally, seeing us go to somewhere like Rome and play a big game, that is what it's all. In my opinion, what it's all about.
It's Cyber Olympic against
it's
Germany.
much more
It's a proper-
romantic, isn't it? To think, right, we're going to go to Rome,
Yeah, I'm
big
getting excited
game,
even thinking
play
about it.
Germany, and go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it goes
Then
to
yes,
France,
it does. That gives you a massive boost.
Does it
into
not?
that
Doesn't
one.
it, man? Imagine you beat a team like that. You know what I mean?
It could easily,
It's tournament
that's the thing,
football
we
and
need
it's
it
extra
too.
time as well. I always think
Well, that's in extra time,
about that.
penalties. That's
As you touched on
the
what you said
big
about
thing.
Portugal, them didn't win a game, right? Normal time, I think. The whole tournament.
Wales in the semi, that was one.
That's right. So
Even
it
the
was-
final was extra time.
it was all extra time. So,
Croatia got the final in 2018. They didn't win a game in normal time.
Yeah.
In the knockout stages, that is.
Yes,
Obviously, they did in
yeah.
the group, but
we've just got to, I think we can all agree, we'll have to perform better than what we've seen. However,
all right.
when it's thrust upon you and you're in that moment, as we mentioned, the tie itself,
All that matters is that you get through.
then they might,
All that matters is that you get through.
and in let's say, you've got the next games against a really tough side. Is that what team would you want to see? Like what selection?
Yeah.
Would you not team who we're playing against? I mean, the selection of team.
I think, obviously, if you in the second round, regardless of who it is, of those 3-4,
Aye.
let's say, let's not write Hungary off totally. You're going to be looking at probably Henderson and Phillips or Henderson and Rice starting. He's going to be playing with at least two.
And I would
in that
agree with
position,
that.
yeah.
In that type.
You'd expect to see Mount and Foden coming back in as well.
If Mount can come back, they've got Rice there
Yeah,
for
it's
10 days, haven't
isn't
they?
it? So,
Well, is that only if he?
No, I think it's 10 days they've got Rice there for now, him and Chilwell, so that rules them out.
I don't want to go down this route because we're
Possibly
talking about
the
something else. But how can them two have to isolate when the Scottish guys have had dinner with them, team bus?
I know, yeah.
Surely them have been closer than them two.
I think it's just an inconsistency in how the England camp might just have a different.
But the thing is,
tested
if
as
they're
well.
getting tested every day,
Yeah.
But
then
they say you can
surely
show
that's.
symptoms so you can test, but you can still have it, can't you? That's
If
still bullshit, though.
you're doing a test every day and you show negative,
I agree with you completely. I think it's stupid. But anyway, sorry to go on the COVID route. But so the team then, so you're saying Foden would come back in, Sterling would obviously play because he scored again,
it's
right?
going to stay in.
Sterling
So
was
if it
gonna
wasn't
stay,
him,
yeah.
that's 3 draws, right?
Yeah.
So
Did Sancho come on in the end?
No.
So warmed up on the end, didn't think he
I
had.
was warming up, yeah. And I agree. I think Henderson. I would prefer to have Henderson in there for Rice, but with Phillips, I think Phillips has done nothing wrong. Nothing to.
I'd be controversial, like, and say I think Kane needs to be dropped.
I don't know. I don't think he was poor tonight. He's not scoring goals, but he's, like I say, he's coming deep. We've got the Sterling goal here. See the space he gets into there, the touch out to Grealish.
The second half.
But that's not. But look, I mean, look where he is. Hey, you don't want your centre forward.
Yeah, but look where he's just picked the ball up. Well, he's recycled it and he's got the ball out of Grealish there.
Yeah, he has. He's in the box to recycle it, to be fair.
Yeah.
In the second half, if I'm honest, all I seen him doing was doing backwards headers, like trying to flick it on for
Yeah.
someone, which that's just not.
But even there, he's not. He's
in the box.
in no urgency to get
That was
like to
But
there.
there's
Stevie
movement
McNeil
there.
was great.
You look at his movement. He's come away into the space because there's no point in having. You had 3 centre halves there. You had Sterling. You had whoever else was there. Kane's pulled away at the penalty spot there to try and win a header, and in the end, he's picked it up after the kind of move broke down, if you want to call it that. So
I just think a lot of Kane's work was back to goal, and you could see that because he's dropping deep. But the service to him was awful in that game. Second half, especially, he was just flicking it on, like just trying to look for other players. We'll have to somehow. I mean, we'll never play 2
That's the thing. I just don't think the way that we're set up, having him in the team just doesn't work.
Because Calvert-Lewin,
He's more. Do you not think he's more used to playing like that though? He's used to playing with 2 wide players outside of him.
I think
he's got.
the right players don't cross the ball.
I think that's the thing. If you're bringing Calvert-Lewin in, I think you've got to get the ball in the box.
Mhm.
You've got to, because you've got Saka there, left footed playing on the right. You've got Grealish, Foden, well, like normally Sterling, sorry, as well on the other side.
And he's cutting it,
Sterling's not the kind of bloke to get the byline and put a cross in normally, is he?
coming in again.
But there again, Luke
No,
Shaw
but
is.
that's what I'm thinking. Will Calvert-Lewin bring them more into the game?
There's no way he's starting.
I don't think I can see where you're coming from, right, Mark. Now, I think it maybe that would be a better way of playing. It's a different way of playing, isn't it? You know, it's something that a team wouldn't necessarily be expecting. But it would be a big departure from how we've set up. I don't remember. I mean, set pieces notwithstanding, we've never really, well, let's say never, under Southgate, we haven't been the type of team to get the byline and get the ball in and try and do that, you know. Kane, I actually think is quite capable of doing it, like, but
There's nothing for me to say. You know, when you need a goal, Kane could pop up in a massive game and score. I would go with Kane every time because of how good he is. And I get he hasn't played well. I don't actually think he played that poorly tonight. Like, I think the service is really bad to him. I don't think they really give him any chances other than the one Maguire played through to him where the lad saved
good save by
the
keeper.
keeper.
Yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't had a chance. But
That's one shot on target in 3 games. Though.
yeah, it's dreadful. It's dreadful. No, it is dreadful. But I don't really see any chances that we create. I mean, that second half, we didn't create anything really for anyone. Not even Kane. I mean,
There's
anyone.
nothing
happening.
Yeah,
So
it's a worry.
Foden would be back in. But he did well, that lad. Saka did very well.
Did really well,
but Foden, I suppose, has to play.
I think that just for Foden's experience. I mean, even then, Foden's only really had one full season in the Man City first team. Saka's probably had the same with Arsenal, but Foden's got that a little bit more prior to that as well. So,
And would you have Mount? You're a fan of Mount, obviously, so would you rather have him than Grealish moving forward?
If you're going to stick with your 2 holding midfielders,
I do like Mount, but I also like
Mount
Grealish as well. I do like Mount. He's very busy, isn't he?
and again, if you're coming up against a team like Germany or Portugal or France, he's going to go with 2 holding midfielders and to try and
he has
stem
to,
it, isn't
and
he?
he has to. And then in that particular game, he has to.
And then you look at Grealish coming on later on as they're tiring, bring a bit more forward impetus and into the team, maybe. But I don't know. It's certainly going to be an interesting few days. A lot of good games to come over the next few days and the weekend, and then we'll see what happens.
got a couple of days off from tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
We've got after the Group F's.
Once they've played, yeah.
Group F and is a Group C.
It's Friday and Saturday off, I think, is the first game on Sunday.
No, it's Thursday, Friday off.
It's a Thursday, Friday off.
Yeah. And then Saturday's Italy v Austria. Oh no, Wales, Denmark, and Italy, Austria maybe.
Sorry, yes, Italy's playing Saturday.
This was the second half. Goal attempt 0, shots on goal 0, shots on.
It's terrible.
That's shocking, that isn't it?
It's something. It's
not
for all that I've been going on about 7 points and nothing conceded. It is concerning that you think if you can't do it against the Czechs, Scotland.
I'm only honestly having the same honest opinion here as if maybe I shouldn't do this, but when I see stats there for Newcastle, I'm like, that's just not good enough.
Yeah,
and that is not good enough, is it? It's just not. You know what I mean?
It's very Newcastle.
Like there's no shots against a team like Czech Republic. Yeah. What are you going to be to try and create against a team likes of Germany or the teams?
But will, in typical Newcastle fashion, will coming up against a team that are maybe, a little bit better, we step our performances up. Like we're seeing on Friday with Scotland stepping up to play England.
The problem with that is, I mean, you look at France. If it were France that we got in the second round, which is entirely possible, they don't just, even with all the players they've got, they don't just stream at you. Deschamps is quite a defensive manager as well. For either you've got Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann, Pogba, who can kind of put a ball over. They're not the kind of team that just go, right, we're going to get out. They used to sit back quite a bit, they invite pressure. So with the defense that you've got, you think, well, how if we can't get through the Scottish defence, if we're going to struggle as much as we have against the Croats and the Czechs, is how we're going to get through France, Well,
you almost feel like you're looking for penalties now, just to get through, because but of course you never know.
That could be a nails on.
But then the quality is there in the England team to do it. But they've got the ability to get through players. It's just
if the shackles are let off.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's I don't know. That's the thing that seems to be holding us back. And then that's when we come back to the Gareth Southgate conversation, isn't it?
I suppose it is. Yeah,
I still think I get what you're saying. That you said Southgate there, and for all I'm not I do think he's a really nice guy. I still think sometimes that it is the players on the field that still aren't doing enough sometimes. Do you know,
But when you
always
look
just
at those
point-
players, look at those players and think how they play on a Saturday when they're playing for the club team or Sunday or whenever they're playing, stuff like that.
You know, we've said that how many years now for England? Like when we've said, this team and a Lampard and Gerrard situation, all that, and on Saturday they're amazing for Man United, or they're amazing for Chelsea.
In other tournaments, they've gone out and at least given a good go. I'm not seeing much evidence of that in the minute.
Have they? 2014 was pretty abysmal. 2012 wasn't great.
Which was the Iceland? That was shocking.
2016.
God,
2016 was dreadful. Look at the 2016 group. We had
Iceland played well that tournament.
Was it Slovakia or Slovenia in the group? Wales, where we snuck through last minute goal against Sturridge.
Right at the end.
And the first one was against Russia, drew 1-1.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Russia, yeah.
So this isn't it for all. I agree with what Declan's saying about the second half. There, no shots. And I've got my concerns for as much as I do like Southgate. I have got my concerns about being able to break down a good side. This isn't a new thing for England.
No,
Getting the best out of the players that they've got. I mean, you could say since I'm not going to go about 1966. I'll carry on, mate. But they've never for about out of this last since Kane came into the squad even before 2010. Easy. Remember the paper headline? England, Slovenia, Algeria, Yanks. England, Algeria, Slovenia. Easy, and the scrape through the group. Drew with America, drew with Algeria. Jermaine Defoe scored that one.
Yep.
2008 didn't qualify. 2006 with a good squad, decent squad.
I'm sure like Southgate, the players Southgate will look at that and go, you know what I mean? We'll fail to have even a shot, not even on target, just fail to have a shot.
Yeah.
There is a concern there.
We've not turned up for a tournament, 2018 notwithstanding. No, that doesn't count apparently. Since 2004, Rooney, his breakthrough. And even then, you threw that game away against France. You had penalties against Portugal, Croatia, and Switzerland in the group. So it's still there's not England aren't a great tournament side historically.
That's what comes down to what you're saying, Bestie, is England are shit.
Basically, yeah.
Well, I've been for a long time.
Yeah.
I think
we've drew the short straw in life here, haven't we? Newcastle and England fans. I mean, come on.
Even when they got Euro 96, they were rubbish for the most part. Italian 90, or rubbish for the most part. Got the semis both times.
Yeah,
that's not how I remember Euro 96, mate.
Shite against Switzerland. Rubbish for the most part against Scotland until Shearer scored. Great against the Dutch. Lucky against Spain because they hit the crossbar and had a perfectly good goal disallowed.
Shearer missed a set.
Penalties. And
really
good against Germany. So you've got five games there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're rubbish in 3 of them.
I thought we were good for the second half against Scotland.
Doesn't live in my memory like that.
Since he broke red that one against Scotland, it totally changed.
It was after the penalty save, wasn't it?
Well, Shearer got because Shearer got the goal and it still wasn't exactly then. Say the penalty, Gascoigne does what he does, and then they pulled the Dutch to bits. Like
that was incredible.
That was
how good they were at the time as well. Ajax, the team that won the Champions League, Ajax in '95, they had like separated.
That's something that we'll never mention as well, because the Netherlands have gone about their business and been impressive.
Gini got 2 last night, didn't he?
Yeah. No,
they tried their best to chuck away. Was it their first game
against Ukraine? Yeah, 2-0 back to 2-2, and then got the late winner, Denzel Dumfries. But it looked good against Austria, and then did what I had to do against. Who was the last game against? Austria. I want to say Macedonia, but I'm saying that about every group at the minute. I think our group
was last night, wasn't it? That game as well.
That was Belgium, Macedonia.
Belgium last night. Yeah.
No, but did Netherlands up there yesterday when Gini got 2?
Yeah, I think he did because there was a 5 o'clock game yesterday as well.
Wasn't Ukraine? Was it? No.
Ukraine would be 3-2.
No,
and Poland in Spain's group.
Austria was playing Ukraine.
Yeah.
Russia?
No, they were in Belgium's group.
Is it Wednesday the next game, by the way?
The flags.
Yeah.
Wednesday the next game.
Yes, that's our game next Wednesday.
Russia, Ukraine. Oh, there's Macedonia.
Slovakia?
That was Macedonia.
No, Slovakia played Sweden, didn't they?
That's Macedonia. Macedonia, Austria, Ukraine, Netherlands. So who was the other team in Portugal? Or maybe one of them was France. Switzerland in the Group A. Who the hell is...
Who was this game?
Belgium, Denmark. Denmark.
Austria, North Macedonia.
Denmark, Switzerland, Wales, Italy,
North Macedonia, Austria and Ukraine. They're the 3 teams. So North Macedonia.
So that's Belgium's group. I was getting confused because it was Russia. So it's obviously Denmark, Belgium, Russia, and them are the lads that play football to a great standard.
It's definitely where next Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, we play Wednesday.
Midfuck. Week off.
Aye.
Week off for the lads.
Yeah.
Get Harry Kane there. He's shooting boots on.
Look at that fantastic hair on Andros.
Great hairline now, isn't it?
Look at
Done
that.
really well. Go on.
Yeah, I wish I had his barber.
I like Andros, me like.
And there's Ashley Cole for Sanchez Senior, or whatever he's called. I know that's his missus.
Sanchez Vicini.
Something like that. Why them two? I've never seen them. I've never seen them two doing the chat on ITV before.
Townsend does that podcast, doesn't he? I think he presents it. He's kind of obviously got a career in media lined up. And Ashley Cole's done bits and pieces for. I don't think I've seen him this Euros yet.
No, I haven't seen him on anything on these ones. But
Good player, like Ashley Cole, wasn't
he was.
Then we've got
He
us
was.
down as we're on Tuesday,
he? Aye.
29th of June, Tuesday.
Tuesday, is it?
No, it's Tuesday, 29th. Yeah. Oh, it's a 30-day month, isn't it?
Oh, GEORDIE USA is saying Tuesday as well. Yeah, we play next Tuesday. Adam, we play next Tuesday.
Still a week.
So I was just going to ask that question, but Keegan's got there in the comments. Andros Townsend is a free agent. He's been linked with Newcastle. I think it's just been linked with Newcastle on Twitter, to be fair.
How old is he now? Must be, well, he's 30.
He must be with 34?
Nah, he can't be that old, surely.
Nice. He's not.
I never said that. It's 7.
Was he 30, 31 when he played here?
Nah, he wasn't as old. I think he was as old as that. I've got him down 25, 26. Then he might be in his 30s by now.
Nah, he wasn't that young, man.
Well. Bit naff that. I'm off, like, but still, bit naff in it. Actually, no, I'm at work. All those.
Mine, it's been 6 years since Townsend signed for us, so.
God, is it?
Aye.
Andros Townsend was born in 1991.
So
He'll
30.
be 30 this year.
Yeah.
God, I thought he was older than that, to be fair.
He's not.
Well,
Right.
Obviously not, according to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia wouldn't be wrong.
But as
He's
we know,
lucky to be born 91. Like.
so yeah, 29-year-old. He looks older than that, mate, doesn't he?
I was going to say, you're born 91, mate.
It's my shite.
I was going to say, you're
84?
10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
84, mate.
1971.
And honestly, I think when I see him on there, I'm like, he's older than me. Him.
Yeah.
And he's
Sounds
It's because
he's
he's been around
because I keep forgetting
a long
how I
time,
am,
hasn't he?
That's the problem.
I did that with Kevin Nolan. And Newcastle think, God, he looks ancient. He's younger than me.
Insane, really.
Aye.
Is he?
Aye.
How
Joey Barton's exactly 6 months younger than me. September 2nd, 1982.
It's because you used to see like young players playing for your club, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Colaccini was the last one. When Colaccini left, they were all younger than me.
Oh, yeah.
It'd been like Imre Ferrari for you, was it? Brian Pop Robson.
You seem to forget that there's not much between me and you.
There's enough.
So, but there we go, and that's another game done and dusted. We're finished top of the league.
Well, look at that, man. No problem.
This is something we can win. We're group stage. We're through. We go into Tuesday's game. Probably, I'm going to say against Germany. I'm going to stake my claim on it and say Germany are going to go through in second place behind France.
I'm going to show you an XG stat when this is over.
It's so hard to call. It's so hard to call that group at the minute. Like, it'd be great.
I'd love to have Portugal, which I'm sure everybody would rather take Portugal out
They've got to beat France then.
of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a massive task.
If
Isn't it?
Portugal beat France, they're more than good enough to beat us.
Yeah. But that's exactly it. Right?
So,
I honestly think, well, do you think France will beat Portugal?
I think they will.
I think they will.
So
Yeah.
if that's the case,
I
we've got
think they
Germany.
will. Yeah.
I think if we don't go out in the round of 16, we'll get the final.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think the round of 16 will be the hardest
I
game.
think we'll be lucky to take it to penalties.
Oh, no, I'm saying that if we don't go out, I think it's very possible that we do go out in the next round.
Yeah.
But I think that if we get past the next round, we'll get the final. That's my shout.
I'd take it.
Well,
I'd take it.
One game at
I'd
a time.
take it.
Next Tuesday is the big one.
And then we'll win the World Cup.
Howie.
And then England and Newcastle win the Premier League as well.
Fucking hell. And then he woke up.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure to watch that game, honestly. In the company of these boys.
Absolutely.
The game, not so much. But yes, thank you for joining in. Thanks for all of your comments. Do us a favour and like and share the video. And if you're not already, subscribe and click on those notifications.
I don't know about sharing a video, man. Watching a watch along after the event.
Well, there's plenty of
People
people.
that score.
There's a lot of people doing it, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Just look at where viewing figures, and you'll see that.
With all that carry on.
But-
I leave that to you, Buff.
Well, how you can't even be bothered to watch Ryan Taylor's interviews. Never mind.
I've watched them a couple of times now. I think they're very good indeed. I really enjoyed that bit where Ryan talks about his time with Newcastle. I thought they were informative.
Very good.
Well, Ryan comes across very well.
Yeah.
And I thought that Chris and Matty did a very good job.
Did you enjoy the stories he told
Oh, all of them.
and all of the insight
It's
he
really,
gave?
it's really hard to pick a favourite because there were so many. It brought back some great memories for me as well. Personally.
Dear me.
I will watch them.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. But thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching, even though Bestie doesn't.
I'd highly recommend it.
But we will bid you farewell. We're going to go and have a look and watch Keegan's video that he sent with to see what it's all about, see how good it is. But thank you for joining us, and we go into the next round, and we'll see what England does next. But
It's coming home, you know.
oh, Decker, you've just peaked too early.
It's the end of
It's
the show.
really the end of
It's
the.
the end of the night.
No, I was going to get you
Oh, okay.
to say
It's coming home, you know.
the famous line.
Oh, well, sorry.
We won, you know. Get in.
Bit of an anticlimax now, but
But
yes,
It's coming home, you know. It's better, right?
it's coming home, you know. But thank you for joining in, and once and for all, good night.